magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of nights, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless. What is up, everyone? That's right. It's your main man, Frank Castle, your Sorcerer Supreme right here. Each and every Saturday night on Fearless. Hi, Fearless family. What is going on? Shout outs to the Fearless family.
I'm here. I'm just getting coffee.
Paula's here. She's just getting coffee. We're a little behind. What else is new? It was as if when I started to, when I made my decision to go live, time sped up. It was really interesting. Got a lot to talk about tonight. I am joined by my etherical translator and co-host Paula Milo. Hey. She's here. We're just going to take our time and work through this. We have a lot to discuss, a lot going on. I know a lot of people have questions. I have fucking questions too, man. I've been through some hell of a week. A whole bunch of us have. Shout outs to Ellen and Nick. Love you so much, my general. Shout outs to Robert Hawley. Thank you so much for the meditations that you do, holding it down. I'm still banned from the Fearless group. I can't do anything. I can't do anything in any group. I'm banned from doing certain things. Whatever. I'm not even gonna look to it. I don't care anymore. Nobody should care anymore. We should care about uplifting ourselves at this point because that's all that matters. We had a lot to discuss. So we had ayahuasca ceremonies.
Okay, I'm here.
Mushroom ceremonies. Dream time things happening, things happening in the real and in the live. Shout outs to Willow. What's up? What's up, Donita in the Redwoods? How you feeling?
Much better now.
You all right?
Yeah, it's just it's so cold here, and we have all the cats in the house, and right before the show starts, of course, there's all this activity, and then they want to go outside. Meanwhile, it's freezing outside, but they're playing in the yard. So whatever.
Cat logic.
It's okay.
It's all right. Good. So while I'm going slowly, what's up, studio? What's up, Lisa? What's up, Sam? Sons of the Suns. What's up?
Can you
Greetings.
move the camera so I don't have to squish over to you anymore?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
You see how it's a little crooked?
Yeah, I don't want to sit on top of you.
You don't?
Well, not now.
How's that? A little better?
Much better, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to go through the Fearless family and say hello to everyone because it's been a minute. Last week, I'll just say this real quick. Last week, I was a mess during the show, leading into the ayahuasca ceremony. It was like I was purging for everyone around me.
I think you were purging for the collective, for everything that's been going on, because I've been through it, and it sucks. We've done it quite a few times over the years when something major is happening.
Yes.
And it's horrible. So yeah, I get it.
And it was Paula was down. and I was in so much pain that, and it wasn't just the physical pain, it was that, and there was this that was my skull, Della. Shout out to Della, Della and Joe. I was like having these pains everywhere. It was nauseousness. It was time moving too quickly, too many things to do around the house.
Oh, yeah.
My mind was like splintered.
Body aches.
It was
Yeah,
like
a lot
we
of
were
body aches,
jumping
too.
back and forth from
Mhm.
timeline to timeline. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I know that's not me. But it is me, right? So I apologize for the amount of F-bombs I dropped last week. And I felt I was a little filth mouth, but I was so sick and tired of it. And then I had so many people. I had more people write to me this week than I've had in a long time, maybe even ever. Everyone kind of, giving me the hug and the high five and the love.
Mhm.
Shout outs to my people in Ireland, FearLess Ireland.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
that's
goodness.
just an amazing thing. I mean,
So many
that's so unexpected.
family members in Ireland. I was not aware of this, way more than a couple. So I was like, whoa, very nice to meet you. I was going to take the show down because I didn't want to embarrass myself as a show host or a teacher, and then I've realized, man, I've been in karate school and I've had coaches and stuff where
You have? Like the Karate Kid?
like Karate Kid when I was young,
Oh, little.
right? When
How'd you get you wore the Husky Boy pants?
they had them for my size. You know what they had to do though for my size?
They had to give you the elastic.
No, they had to roll them up at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And then put
Because they were probably men's size.
Yes, is that the heat coming up?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow. All right.
Cold outside.
So I remember my coaches and stuff.
Oh, Reggie, I gotta go get her.
They would lose it once in a while. And you're like, yo, these guys can't really lose it because they're working with all different age groups and everyone's watching and parents are there. You can't really lose it, but sometimes you do. You like get sick of it. And I remember times when my coach would look at me and he would just go, listen, you fucking fat turtle, just start running, run and don't come back. And I'm like, my dude.
Call you a fat turtle?
Yeah, that's why I say all these weird things. The coach would just yell stuff at you. Right. And I was one of the faster guys in the 10-yard fight. You're done around me. Not anymore. I'm a mess now, but I was picking off people left and right. And then I attribute that to my coach because it didn't bother me at one point. I felt I just understood. You got, 40 kids. Everyone's telling you, fuck this guy, do this. I'm not doing what you're telling me, or I'm not going to do it to the ability that I can do it at. And it's always causing problems. So I looked at myself from that perspective. And I said, cut yourself some slack, dude. We all have to cut ourselves some slack. One time he my coach in Fordham Prep, he made fun of me. And then when I first started, like the 13th guy, right? Or the 12th guy. It's like there was one more and I was in. One more. Like if one guy got hurt, I was permanent.
Oh,
I was always like floating and
okay.
then made
So you
my
were like
way
the
in.
alternate. Okay.
So, and it was like that with lacrosse as well. And when things got out of hand, I remember when my coach would scream at me, there's a reason why you're not starting today because you're a fucking mess. Go run. And then there was a point where I was running clips around everyone. And then and the coach would go, all right, whoever that was that just ran by me, be more like him. He would scream it. And then he would go, wait a second. Who was that? And they'd be like, it's Frank. And he'd be like, son of a bitch, run. And I would come around and I would murder everyone. And he would be so happy with me. But that crazy push is what pushed me into the next. I couldn't get past Division 2. That next was just way too hard. I hit that level. I didn't even know what was going on anymore. But even teachers will kind of lose it a little bit, and it's rough. It was a little embarrassing for me. I felt weird. It was like one of the first times I ever felt that way. I was like, you are all my family. So if I'm bugging out or cursing too much and you can't watch with the kids, but you like to watch with the kids and this and that, we all have to just realize what's happening. but at the same time, I gotta like tune it down a notch. But I feel like with what's going on, it has to be turned up, but focused. So I wasn't focused, and I apologize for that. But at the same time, I don't. Interesting. I love you guys so much.
Well, I think they know you by now. Everyone knows you by now. So
I appreciate
understand.
my point. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm much better now. And we got a lot to talk about, but I want to start the show this way. I want to start with what you just did.
What I just did now?
Okay, because it's fresh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, not feed the cats.
Yeah. Feed the cats for 45 minutes.
All right, so Paula woke up.
So, all right.
Just an hour ago.
Well, we have to go back a little further. So,
because she's discussed this before.
Can we talk about the? Could we mention that? Do we have permission to say that we had the eye experience?
I already talked about it.
Oh, you did. All right.
Because I was under as well.
Okay. So it's funny because I was talking to Ellen. Now we're getting smarter. So now when we have these eye experiences, I'm now putting in the contingency rest day one day after, because, you know, a lot of people really don't understand when they have these experiences, whether you're in your own home or like with a friend or a loved one. Hey, mama, whether you're home having this experience or whether you're with a shaman having an experience, the day after, you really do need to rest. Now, I know a lot of people can. A lot of people have to go to work. Whatever it is that you have to do, I get that. But you do need the day to rest. Now, for the people shamaning, it's important that they get a rest day out of it also. So we had the experience. Then we had a day we could just hang and talk about the experience, which... That is so good to have. Which was very helpful. For our situation was the most incredibly helpful thing. It was helpful for Ellen, and it was helpful for us because we both gained information, because usually the rest day everyone is alone, but we were actually together this time, so we could break apart the experience. We could hear it from Ellen's level, right? We could hear it from my level, from everyone's perspective, which I think is important, because sharing information is good. Now, it's your experience. You want to share it, you don't want to share it. You're not wrong either way, because it is a very personal and intimate experience, because depending on what you're going to be seeing, some of these things you might not want to speak about. Hi, Lexi. Lexi, I love you. You may not want to speak about it. I mean, we've shamaned people that never spoke a word, just said thank you. You changed our lives. Thank you. We're grateful, but never spoke a word about the experience, which is fine. And then we have people that are still sharing from years ago, like still unlocking things and sharing from years ago. And both ways are beautiful. And I am a very private person. And it's funny that I should say that, because I tell everyone everything. But I am private. What I choose to share with you, I choose to share with you to provide knowledge for a situation. Or I choose to share with you to help you explain something about me, who I am as a person. So I don't hold information back, but I try to only share what I feel would be relevant in your case. So I don't want to hit you with all my bombs if you're here to have an experience about you. I keep my ego, I keep my issues out of it, because I don't know why you're here. I don't know what you're working on. Everyone has a different purpose. Right. So I really try to stay neutral, and I just really try to throw down protection. And I try to make this as safe a space as possible and a clean environment, so that when you come out of your experience, you know you're in good hands. And I think I do a pretty good job doing that. But I realize that I do need to rest the day after, or sometimes 2 days after. The reason why you need to really rest, is because you're really good. We're both really good. I am. I'm being told to say this at giving you the personal experience you need. Yeah, but being there 100% of the time. Yeah, being there. Literally being. If there's 10 people there. We argue this point. We're like, even if a shaman has 3 or 4 people working with them, you're not getting personal. You're not getting personal anything. And this, I'm not trying to sell it to you guys. No, that's not what this is. But we're there. I'm always either in the room or in the next room, because I don't want to be with. I don't want to. We don't have to be on top of you. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't. I don't want to be on top of you. I want to. It's a very it's a very drinking Aya, you're stripped of everything. So
it's the most personal.
it is, and it unfolds in front of people. And if you're embarrassed or uncomfortable, it will hamper your experience. So we try to give you as much space as you need
But
to
be right there.
to be whoever you need to be to get this information to you. So like, we don't judge. I don't care. You want to speak in different tongues, you want to whatever happens, and it stays here.
That's a safe space stuff. That doesn't matter, whatever it is that happens. It's just that
exactly.
it's allowed to happen.
Anything is allowed to happen as long as you're not causing yourself or me harm.
Yeah, and then you just
go with it. So coming down from that and resting from that is very important. And like I said before, a lot of people can't. You have other things to do. You're raising kids, you have work, whatever. I get it. But you have to make time for yourself to get enough sleep, to drink enough water, to eat well again, to integrate back into your life, because the integration from the information that you received, that's the hardest part. Integrating what you now know, what you knew 5 minutes before your experience, and all of the shit in between. So that integration time is very important, because you're looking at the world with new eyes. You're looking at your situation with new eyes. You're looking at your kitchen table with new eyes. You're sitting at your kitchen table. We don't have one, so it's here. You're sitting at your kitchen table having a cup of coffee the day after, and you're a new you, whether you realize it or not. You're not the same person you were 5 minutes before you decided to drink. So there's an integration process that needs to happen. But we receive information as well. Like me, I didn't drink. I don't drink. You all know my story. I hate to drink. I mean, Frank basically would have to hold me down and pour it down my throat at this point.
This time I didn't forget the gravy.
But even for us, just shamaning, we get downloads of information as well that we have to integrate into our daily lives.
We're in it with you. There is no over there. So you're having your experience right here in our home. We're having an experience right alongside of
wherever
you.
we are. I'm not seeing what you're seeing.
The energy is shared,
but I'm definitely getting the information and getting,
because we all have to discuss it later, regardless. So it's almost like they're seeing the energy and dealing with it, and then we're just feeling it.
Yes.
And then when they discuss it later with us, we understand the energy that came in, so we can be helpful.
Because we have to meet somewhere in the
middle. Have to. It's so important. And you know what I notice with you, with us, but really with you, we get like all avenues covered of the experience.
Oh yeah. Health, safety,
so, yes, the safety of it,
spirit world,
the comfort of it, or the most you can get out of that situation, because there's a point where you're way out of your comfort zone, and it is on. And then the food afterwards, being able to just have, I'm just saying, it's better than shitting in a ditch somewhere in Peru.
You know,
I'm not taking anything away from any of the shaman there. There's some really good ones and stuff, but it's so commercialized. Can't be trusted.
No.
You got to do what you got to use your discernment.
That's the first time that one made me cough.
And then you got to go through your situation. It's groovy, man. If you want to travel to the mountain or to the rainforest to make it happen, that's cool. But 90% of the world cannot do that.
No. And you know, if you are going into this with your new baby eyes, and you want to have experience, and you want to travel the world, and you want to go to a shaman where you're going to be with 50 other people, and you get a little yoga mat and a bucket, and you know, it takes a very strong person, because no one is going to come check up on you. Hey Della, I love you. No one's checking up on you, and no one's making sure your heart rate's not too high. No one's making sure you're not overheating. No one's making sure all of these things, you know, that you're cared for. And I'm not knocking it.
We're just talking about it because it's relevant to your experience out there when you do it alone. So you know exactly what you have to put into it for you. You can hear what we do here, and you can just do it there.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not telling you, you know,
we're
the best. But we are really awesome.
No, you totally are. So But when you have that experience, you also have to realize that when you go to a tourist place to have to experience Aya, they're not giving you the dosage.
You're getting the commercial dose.
You're getting a commercial dose. So you're getting a very light dose because of liability issues. Okay. It's 50 people or 100 people in one area. If something happens, these people are liable for the people that are in their care.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're not getting a
it's
high
more
dose.
of a bring them in, bring them out.
Right. So you're going in, you're looking around, and you're coming out. Now, it might be enough. I don't know. I've never had the experience.
Some of them are reputable, so you get your good mixed in with your stuff,
Right.
just like you would get, I guess, here in the States.
I'm just making a point about this, and then we're going to move on.
Point.
If you think that's something that you can handle, that's something you should do. But I feel it's a more intimate experience, and you should be in a more intimate setting, because it is a very personal experience, because we are dealing with issues from lifetimes, not this lifetime, our little baby souls in this lifetime. Okay. Now imagine all of the stuff that you have gone through. If you're our age, you're in your late 40s. I'm going to be 49 years old next month. I can't believe it. Think about all the things that you've gone through in this tiny little lifetime, right? It's not just this. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of lifetimes. It's thousands of years of repeating karma, making the same mistakes, being karmically tied to other people. Hi, Nick. Yeah, I am feeling much better. I thought I was going to die 2 weeks ago, just from the energies, but I feel better. So, when you put in the work, you're really putting in the work. If you know why you're doing this, you're really putting in the work. And, it's just like the QHHT therapy or going to a therapist in general. If you're going to go to a therapist and you're not going to be honest with the therapist can't help you. Do I believe in therapy? Yes, I went to a therapist, and then I realized this is something that I could do on my own. But I got to the therapist because I knew I couldn't do it by myself. So people reach these points because they know they need assistance. There's nothing more they can do on their own. Okay. And that's beautiful. And then we come together and we find each other and we decide to do this. My point is, if that's the experience that you can handle, then that's the experience that you should have. However, we feel it should be more of an intimate experience, because we feel that all of the people that we have shamaned, we do have a connection with. I mean, it's a very strange thing. It's not like, like if I go to get a facial, or hi rocks, if I go to get a facial, or I go to the spa, those are things I used to do all the time when I was working. I don't call the spa lady and say, hey, do you want to go to, I don't call the spa lady and say, hey, you gave me such a good massage that my body never hurt again. You don't do that. But when you're with a shaman and you realize that you're truly picking up the pieces of your life when you're done, and you can truly put everything into perspective and say, hey, I know the changes that need to be made now. I know what I can do to make things better. I know how I want to be treated and how I will allow other people to treat me. I know that this world that we're living in, there are illusions. Okay. And this is good. Bring it in. So I know part of this is a hologram. I know we're used to programming. Frankly, no, you know what I mean? All of it.
We're going to get into this tonight.
We know this. With all that being said, we have to integrate this data, both of us on both sides. So we had a rest day, a day where I said to Frank, I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning anything, I'm just tidying up. I didn't even take a shower. I'm literally resting. I everything, cats are fed, everyone's taken care of, no sharp objects around, we're good, but I'm resting. And during that rest day, I said, there are things that I need to get back on track. I'm drinking too much coffee. I have
things speed up, right? So you're inputting.
Yeah, you know what it is?
Cooking too much.
Yeah,
moving around with too many cats. It just feels like
you're
out of touch all of a sudden. The rhythm's gone.
For us to prepare to shaman, there's work that goes in because everything.
It's like a week leading up to it.
Everything,
it starts hardcore.
Because you have to be clean and prepared because you can't shaman someone if you're dirty.
Yeah,
you
can't be a dirty
shaman someone if
dummy.
you're gunked
I
up.
mean,
You can't
silly
shaman someone.
monkey.
Yeah, no, but you can't. You can't.
No, I
so you
promised
have to
Ellen
be
I
clear.
wouldn't say dummy no more.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So now it's
'Cause
silly
it's
monkey.
derogatory. Yes, silly monkey.
I love you, Ellen.
So the rest day, I couldn't shut my mind off. And I really was integrating a lot of things about myself, integrating a lot of things about our process, what I like about our process, what I don't like about our process, what I would like to change, how we can just I mean, I don't think we can make the experience any better. I mean, that's the experience. I mean, who we are is who we are. You get us with the experience, whether you like it or not. But
well, I think that's why people will even come and see us.
Oh no, I get that, and it's not a like this is not a sell. This
like
is
you
just,
hear us talking all of this stuff about our story,
Yeah.
and then you enter. It's like you turn the page in the book,
right,
and it says Ellen shows up at the front door,
right.
and you're like,
And then
oh,
the
Ellen's
story
here,
goes
and
on,
then now
yes.
she's in the story
Yes.
again.
And Joe and Della were very grateful to you because you were definitely putting down a lot of positive vibes and sending us a lot of love. and
Yes.
keeping the space clean. We definitely felt it. Thank you, Joe and Della. We definitely felt it. I mean, I could literally feel it in the room, the love that you were sending. And so it's an integration process for me because I feel if you're comfortable with me and you can share with me and you can be honest with me, then I can help you as much as I can. And I also have to be honest about things as well. So now when I'm faced with questions or I'm faced with whys, I do answer honestly. And sometimes that shocks people because they didn't expect to hear what they were going to hear. So I may have laid some stuff on Ellen she wasn't ready for, but that's okay.
I think both of us have done that with multiple people.
Right.
Because they hear the story and they're not, they're just listening and they didn't go through the witnessing stage yet.
Right.
Each individual needs to witness sometimes because some of the story is just that fantastic.
Right. So, you explaining and breaking it down for Ellen was very helpful because she was able to understand on a completely different level than the last time she drank. Now, her awareness raises our awareness, which is good. So now I have a rest day. Now, the day after was supposed to be I had stuff to do day. Like we have every day we have, the joke, we adult. And then, like what's on the table today, what's on the table this week. And then we get the adulting done so that we can hang. So the next day we did adult. We did everything we were supposed to do so we could hang. However, that's when I was like, you know what? I am drinking too much coffee. I'm not drinking enough water again. Things have to change. So today I only had 2 small, because I broke the 2 of my favorite cups in 2 days apart in the same week. And so I've been drinking out of a very big coffee cup. So now I switched to a smaller coffee cup and it's okay. I didn't die. And I had 2 cups of coffee today from a smaller cup, and I'm having 1 cup of coffee now that I am savoring like there is gold in the bottom of the cup. And that's okay because this is my thing. I have to work on it. So, and I didn't smoke a lot of weed because my issue was, am I smoking too much weed? And the answer was yes. So I didn't smoke a lot of weed today. So, because I wanted to be clear for tonight, because, Frank thinks sometimes, I'm just falling asleep before the show and too lazy to get up. Sometimes that's not the case at all. Sometimes I am like, it is physically impossible for me just to go any further. I can't do it. However, today I wanted to make sure I was clear.
We had a little bit of a plan to pass out early.
Oh,
we
yeah.
both have to do
to
it.
take a nap early in the day. Yeah, because we called your mom to see if she needed anything. She didn't. And then we were like, nope, nap time.
So
and then that was
one
it.
of the things I did was when the light was, here you go, the light was coming through the window here through the front door, I was sitting on the floor with Reggie, letting the beam of light, remember I was like, it's just the beam of light.
Yeah, you're holding it in your hand.
I got my skull, my crystal skull that Della gave me, right? And I held it to the light, and I sat to where it was directly hitting me right here. So I sat there, no joke, like 10, 15 minutes doing this. My skull talks like crazy. So it's like, yeah, yo, it goes nuts.
Mhm.
So I instantly just train, when there's all this stuff around you, I can trust that when I go inside during a meditation, if I'm using the skull kind of doesn't guide me, but is a voice there as
Sorry,
well
guys.
on the other in my head, right? As I'm holding it, I can hear it and it tunes out everything else. And we have a basic conversation. I like this. This is good. Me too. I am feeling good right now. That's a great thing. And then the conversation gets shorter and shorter and shorter, and boom, it's just the starburst into me becoming the starburst. It's really, really an interesting process. So I did that, and then I got massively tired. I could not take it anymore. I had to lay down. I was like, if I don't get in bed immediately, my body's literally going to shut off. So there must be new codes activating. There has to be something going on for you to just be able to stand in the sun or let it hit you for a few minutes, and then you're so physically exhausted, but in the best way. Like it always makes me feel, and they call it sun worship and stuff, but I don't. I'm just like, this is just great. Like it's feeding information. So it's not like I'm worshiping the light that comes up. In a way, I guess I am, right? The definition of worship, but I wouldn't consider myself that because it's a necessary thing, right? It's like you got to drink water too. So when you drink water, you should be like, this is yummy water. Yummy sunlight, yummy good time. Like I'm trying to put it into perspective for people. Anyway, so I don't know if any of you are experienced that.
So anyway, we took naps separately.
Separately, yes.
And I fell asleep.
Get the coffee.
It's right here.
No, it's.
Oh. So, can't help it. That's why I say coffee. Coffee is up. So I took a nap, and like I said, I had very little coffee. I drank a lot of water because I've been pumping water into me since the other day. And,
yes, I have. Sorry.
And I have too. And just like an eye experience,
just like
it. And I was like, "What's happening?"
We've done that on weed.
Yeah, no. But specifically on mushrooms.
On mushrooms.
I actually
DMT. I got to bring buckets out just in case. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, I'm done.
No, it's all right. It was so bad that Frank actually had to hold my hair back because that's how bad I was purging. But after it was over, after the purge was over, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So if that happens to you, just go with it. Don't worry, because I was like, oh my God, does that mean I have to eat it again? And no, enough time had gone by because I think I had enough time to metabolize it.
Well, when it comes out organic, right, you could tell.
Just if it's happening, just go with it because after it's over, it's beautiful. So
I just asked myself, is this necessary?
Stop talking. I love you. So I took this and I'm trying to tell this now. It's 33 minutes and 29 seconds. So we have to start from the beginning now. Shut up. So I take this beautiful, glorious nap. Okay. I wake up and now I know. That's okay. I know. I love you too.
You're funny.
I know. I'm funny. You're funny too.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm funny.
Drink coffee.
Okay. Yeah, drink coffee with your gigantic coffee pot right there. Go ahead. Show everybody how big that thing. Yeah. Okay. So I took this nap. It was glorious and beautiful, and I'm coming out of it, and I'm awake probably about. I would say it's more than a half an hour, but I can't open my eyes yet. So now something's going on. I know something's going on, and I'm laughing because. Shut up. And I'm laughing because I could hear Frank in the background, but I can't open my eyes yet. So I said, oh, that wasn't a nap. I must have been sleeping in the beginning, and then I went somewhere.
You literally yelled out to me.
I did.
And I was like, did she just say something?
Yeah, I did. I was screaming, dude, you don't even know.
Yeah, that's what
We're in this place.
Dude.
So there's this place that I've gone quite a few times now since I've known Frank in the last, because in the last 5 years I've gone to this place in my dreams quite a few times, and we've talked about it on the show. It looks like a resort that's close to a mall, but it's off.
Oh shit!
It's
All
on
right,
the
this
water.
is important. Yeah.
This is important. So it's like a resort, but it's tied to a mall, but it's on the water and it's by a highway.
But what does it feel like? Where does it feel like?
It feels like, well,
what did it feel like to you?
Oh, today, well, when I was there today, I kept saying it was like the Gulf of Mexico, but like Louisiana, like on the US side. It was weird. Now, I've been here so many times before, and it's a very nondescript location. I thought it was upstate New York at one point. Like, it looked like upstate New York, but tonight it looked different.
We've done multiple, let's just reference real quick. We've done multiple shows about the mall, the house, the
water,
home,
the water,
the home, the location.
Where the location
what it
is.
feels
it's
like
one road in and one road out.
Is it ever like winter, summer, spring, fall? It's always nice.
It's always nice out. It's always good weather.
And is there any insects that bite you and things that harm you?
Nothing.
I'm like, there's nothing there.
Nothing. So this place, I don't know if it's off planet. I don't know if it's somewhere outside of the US or in the US that I'm not familiar of. I don't know if it's a real place or a place in my head or
but we've talked about being there.
Yeah, we don't know where this
on
place
the property is. You've talked about it multiple times.
Yeah.
Me, and there's people in the room.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a made up place. I don't know. I don't know where this place is, but this is now, I've been there so many times. So I'm there and I have some family members and some friends who I really don't speak to anymore, just because when you raise your vibration and you change your frequency, it's very difficult to be around people. Like you know you're vibing when all your animals are with you because they're already up here. You have to meet them up here, okay? Because we're down here. So when I woke up, I must have had, I don't know, like everyone around me. And I was up for about 30 or 40 minutes and I couldn't open my eyes. And I'm talking to him. I'm yelling at him from the couch, basically just telling him what's going on. And I'm like, I can't open my eyes yet, though. Like they wouldn't let me. I guess they didn't want it to stop.
You were still there.
I was still there.
But awake.
And I wanted to talk as much as I could because I was afraid that I wouldn't remember. So I knew Frank would remember. So while this is all happening, you know, I'm with family members and I know it's not, it can't be the Gulf. It can't be the Gulf because there were, so anyway, there's dolphins in the water and there's humpback whales. So now I know it can't be some warm climate. Where would these humpback whales be going in the Gulf of Mexico? So unless I'm wrong about that, I don't know. So now I'm saying to these family members, it's like, I don't know if they were visiting me or if we were visiting someone or we're all
sounded
visiting.
To me like you were showing them our spot.
I don't think
it sounded like.
I think it was a place we lived, but I don't think it was the place we're gonna live. I think it was a place we lived. So I'm looking out at the water and I'm like, don't you see the beauty in the water? Look at all of the fish in the water. Look at the dolphins. Look at the whales. Don't you see that?
Look at the whales. There's dolphins right there.
See it? And they all kept saying, I can't see it. I don't see that, you know. And then we were walking around the grounds and it was like a little plantation style home. I don't even think it was a home. It looked like a shack, but to me, it was an oasis. It literally looked like a shack.
But when you okay, so check it out. I want you to explain the difference because you were making the explanation of making it different. What did it really look like to you?
It looked like a shack.
No, the surrounding areas because you described what we live in.
It was very no, it was definitely like a warm climate because it was a little plantation style shack.
You said everything was glowing like sparkle lights.
She said everything was glowing like sparkle lights. And there was lush greens on the ground. There were dried leaves. There were geckos and lizards, and the cats were out playing, and there were all kinds of small animals running around. And
Was anything hurting each other?
no, everything was just getting along, but everything was where it was supposed to be. It was definitely a warmer climate. And I kept saying, isn't it wonderful here? And they were like, yeah, if this is your version of wonderful. And I'm like, but look at the beauty, look at the lights, look, you could see for miles. There's no illusions. There are no illusions. This is true beauty. This is beautiful. And they're like, we don't see it. I don't see what you're seeing. I don't see it. And then I was shouting to Frank, you know, we really are in a hologram. Like, it really is what you choose to see. Because
So none of them can see from any level what you saw.
they could
Even
not-
point it out, because you were like,
none
I'm
of
pointing
them.
it to
I
you.
was
Look.
pointing it out specifically. I kept saying, look in the water. Look, there's whales and dolphins. Just follow my finger. It's in your eye line. It's right in your eye line. You should see. I don't know how you're missing it. And then I realized, you know, and Frank and I get these messages sometimes. Say nothing, do nothing. When we're supposed to stay out of it, when we're supposed to stay out of something, whatever it is. And, you know, that's what you do. You say nothing and you do nothing. You take no action. That's basically what that means. Because if you try to take action, like post something on Facebook, it's not going to happen, because it's not meant to happen. So the old Paula would have drawn these people a map, been extremely descriptive in what she was seeing, and basically try to do everything in her power to get them to understand what she meant. And then the new Paula was like, no. I said, I'm sorry you don't see it. And then I said, shut up. They're not going to see it, because it's not their beauty. This is how I deem what beautiful is. This is, yeah, it basically was a cottage in the woods, but there were little there were geckos and little lizards running around. Basically, it was a cottage in the woods.
The way
yes.
she was describing it, I just want to throw this in there. So here.
Yeah.
So she was shouting out, dude,
You don't
there
even
are
know.
whales right there. Now I want you to recognize as I say this, because this is going to come all the way back around about pointing things out and people not being able to see them. She was like, look, all you got to do is look. The water's clear right there. It's more blue.
Just look.
Just look. They're coming out of the fucking water. She's like, I don't know what you see.
And then
they were telling her.
I stopped talking. I just stopped talking.
They were asking her because you were saying, no, it's all right. I love it here. Like, this is our oasis. This is beautiful. And then you were going, yeah, they were saying, like, I don't think so.
Get it. Yeah, I said the only problem was this is how I know this is my. See, they always drop something in to know it's me. It's this Paula, because it's definitely something that I would respond. It was definitely be my response. I said to them, the only problem is the barbecue grill is over here, but it's hooked up to natural gas, so that's good. But you got to cook all the food in one spot and wait, and then you have to eat it in another spot. And that was my only gripe. But that had to be an earthly thing for me to know that it was really me, because that's like some stupid shit that we would talk about like every day. Like when Rich was here, the last time he visited, right? And he was saying how they'll have parties about whose petty issues are more petty than the others. And Frank and I were bickering over the color of a lighter. And I said, would we have won that argument? I guess we would have won the most petty conversation. It was just like 14 minutes of like stupid conversation. Oh, sorry, Ellen. It was silly conversation over the color of a lighter. And but it was almost like
snap.
They dropped a bomb in there. They put something in there. Like the movie The Shack, you saw the beauty. Oh, totally. It was just like it was like the movie The Shack, but I saw everything.
Think
to be
about
beautiful.
this. So Paul is seeing this, right? Okay, and she's showing her people this, and they're like, "Nah, I don't see it." Okay, so
it's a metaphor. It's definitely
5D Earth is this. Okay.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
you're seeing it and can interact with it.
But they're not. It's just
they're not ready.
It's just not. We know you never saw it, Ellen.
It's like
just
the chicken timer goes off,
other
or the turkey timer pops up, Theirs did not pop yet, and that's it. It's
and
in
that's
the oven.
totally
tick-tock, tick-tock.
okay.
But you're not crazy as well for showing.
No, but you know, I would have been like, no, we all have to see this. This is beautiful. Like, how could we leave them behind? But it's not about that. They're not supposed to be there at that time. You know, Frank and I joke, like, you know, with our particular family issues, it's like Ellen, another movie you've never seen. It's like Back to the Future. When Marty McFly takes out the picture of his brother and his sister, and he starts to fade from the picture. It's like, I think this transition, it's like we're just going to fade off into the sunset, literally. Like we're just fading away.
I've noticed that, like
fading away.
Like in a, what are those things called when you could the instrument that does this?
Oh, the accordion. Right.
So it goes from everyone here, right? And you just put your finger in the instrument, and then the song starts, and you go, Brow. And then there's those over here, and those over here. Now we were all just here,
and nothing's right or wrong.
And everything's right correct. We're all in the same space. This is what I'm saying. We're all using the same instrument.
We're all holding
accessing
the same.
it
We're
from
all
a different
in
point.
the same space, in the same realm right now. We're just going to be
like, you can look at this from so many perspectives.
Moving right over.
You have anyone that's on any part of this going like this, right? And then you have the guy holding it, or the girl holding it, the version of you looking.
Right.
And then there's all those others that are doing the same exact thing. So it's, where are you choosing to be part of the symphony? Are you gonna play it?
Exactly.
Or are you gonna go to the left or the right?
Exactly.
Where are you?
And I'm gonna bring it home right now. So this happened. So now I'm screaming to Frank. Now I have my eyes closed for about 30 or 40 minutes. I'm telling him my experience, because now I want to get out as many words as I can, just in case I forget. Because now I still think I'm dreaming.
It reminded me of a channeling experience.
No, it totally was. So it reminded. I thought I was dreaming originally. But now I know I'm not going to forget. So now I'm awake, and we're getting ready for the show, and I'm putting up coffee and, you know, making sure everything's okay right before the show. And I'm like, you know what? This is exactly what we were talking about. Like, it is a hologram. This is the Hunger Games. This is exactly. We just have to keep being the way we're being until we can all be together, because this thing that's happening now with the country and, you know, the inauguration, I'm bringing it home.
No, I got it. I'm just following.
What I got out of it was just keep doing what you're doing. Like, you can't get caught up in that. You really can't get caught up in any of it, because I get so easy. You can set me off so easily if I let you. And Frank is like, you've been unusually calm, you know, with all the news that's coming out. And I'm like, Frank, they just keep telling me, just be. So I think this experience that I had tonight, going where I went, because it wasn't sleep. It might have been in the beginning, but it turned into something different than sleep. It definitely showed me, like, they're not going to see. So you're creating your reality. So there could be all of this craziness in government, craziness in the world, craziness with everyone. We just have to stay out of it. You just have to be you a little longer, because it's all going to be okay. Now, I know that's a big jump from where I was to where we are now, but that's what I took away from this. People will not see what you see. You create your world, and you create everything in it. So, you know, create the beauty, you know. I'm just going to tell it. So Nick and Ellen went snowboarding, and Nick fractured his arm. Now, earlier that day, she had asked me, can you please send us positive vibes? You know, we're going snowboarding. And I said, oh, sending you positive vibes. Have a great time. So now I sent love ahead to where they were going. And then he fractured his arm. So I said, wow, that's not usually like
how it works.
Usually I'm like, bam, everything's good. Like, my sister saw the bubble. She got to a car accident. She actually saw the bubble of protection that I put her in, and it scared the fuck out of her, because she was like, oh my God, now I understand what you're saying. And I'm like, why doesn't no one listen to me? Why? You know, why? So I took that on like, oh my God, I didn't give enough. Like I didn't do enough. And then she had texted me and she said, the doctor said it was the best fracture possible. And then I said, oh, best possible outcome, just like me and Frank. Like we've been taking this cat, Ayahuasca, to the vet since COVID started. Okay. He's doing so badly. So if you could send some love, but it's okay because we're taking care of him. So he's going to be fine no matter what. He has no choice. He will be fine. It's the best possible outcome. You know, it could always be worse. But if you create your reality, then even when the bad shit happens, it's the best possible outcome.
Because there's still the lesson that needs to be learned. And for some reason that needs to occur with the being and those around the being having to deal with it or not.
Exactly. And that's earthly stuff that we have to deal with. That's 3D stuff we have to deal with every day. And you know what? We have to navigate it. You're like a mouse. You're like a mouse in a maze looking for cheese. And that's just the way it is. So make the best of it. This is what I'm saying. This is what I walked away with because I was like, why are they showing this to me? Why now? Like, why now? Like, what? I'm trying to tie it all in. And then I was like, oh, okay. I get it. I get it. We just have to be. You just have to be. And you do create your reality. So if you're causing strife and drama and you're on the fear cycle, you're on this fear spiral, then it's you. You know, Frank pointed out something really Frank made a comment earlier this afternoon that was so powerful. Yeah. You pay for what is it, YouTube Red?
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to watch the commercials.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
For so those now, of you that don't pay,
I want you to take it from here because I know I did a lot of talking and I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
That. But this is exactly what I mean by we really just have to
make it work, muscle through it.
We have to live the life that we want to live. It's not about stuff.
Yo, this video came up with these two guys talking about the universe and stuff, right? And then I had it on pause. And it was up on the screen, and I noticed there were little click-off marks on the streamline, and I said, "Holy shit! I never realized this because I pay for it because I'm using it constantly, not to not have commercials and ads." Mm-hmm. So then, no joke, there had to be 50. We were like, holy shit.
So when you pause the video, you see the breaks.
You see how many
in the
so now
it's a
3.5 hour video. There's got, maybe it's not 50, maybe it's like 35. It was a lot, right?
It was like a break every couple of minutes. So
okay, so how are you supposed to watch that,
retain it,
and retain any information if it's constantly going
if
to
you're
the
constantly
shitty
pausing
ads.
And going to an ad? So, you know, it's like
you're not getting the information correctly.
No, well, you're not getting to process the information. So then Frank and I were sitting here and we're like, you know what? Abraham talks about this. You know,
yeah, this is when you were telling me this crazy shit. And you were right.
You manifest something into a consciousness in just about 17 seconds. So if you're watching something and you're only getting a minute or two to watch it, you're not, and then there's an ad, you're interrupted. So your thought
right in the middle of the thought.
So your thought process is interrupted. So then you go right back to it, and now you're back in, and then your thought process is interrupted again. So you can't digest this information to
properly.
create a consciousness about anything because you're constantly getting distracted.
You can't sit in a bubble of understanding without it being disrupted. It's like you're blowing a bubble that you could be in to understand or maybe hear the conversation properly. You're listening, but you want to hear it. You're like, let me hear that, man. And then every few minutes they pop the bubble on you.
Right.
And then it's like reconnecting.
Yeah. So you have to reconnect.
It's like, what the fuck?
You have to reconnect. Your brain is constantly being interrupted. And I think that's all purposeful.
It is purposeful.
I think it's all done on purpose because they don't want you.
And then, all right, so
they don't want you having
a thought.
A complete thought.
They don't want you to get the idea and focus on it and be able to build it in your mind.
Yes. And then form an opinion.
So
and then get some education about it, like get some knowledge about it.
So is it worth like the $150 $15 I pay a year or whatever to keep my thought. In this land right now, I know it's a scummy way. Well, I don't want to pay these motherfuckers or whatever, but I'm using it to do
but
what I got to do.
You're almost paying not to be brainwashed, like not to be
you're paying not to be brainwashed on that level, but then you have to circumvent the AI, which it's back again. The AI, it's doing its thing, and then you're battling
just
that.
Just like on TV, same thing. So you're getting into it and you're thinking about it. You're forming an opinion, and just as you're forming an opinion, there's a commercial.
Okay, y'all notice that shit too. It's not me and my fucking cable box or whatever. So when the commercials, we were arguing about this. Remember, the commercials would pop on, they'd be fucking louder.
But they did something in the 90s about that. They said it was illegal. They had to stop.
And it shocks you.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
So if I want to make a point around someone, and like we're gathered in a group and we're talking like this,
what do you do?
And I have to make a point. And I've done this a few times recently. I blast you with the whatever, and then everyone in the room shocks, and I go right, and then they're like, "Oh shit, yeah, he meant that shit." It's like, yeah, I had to break you out of the frequency you were in into a frequency where you can sit and be like,
I have to shut the window. It's too cold.
Yeah, my feet were we're freezing. It's so cold here. So it breaks your attention, and I do this. I've done this before, and it works. It works really good. But you got to just drop it and go on. But now I'm like, wait a second, they're doing it to me every 3 minutes, and then they're hitting you. There's this Truvia commercial. I'm sure everyone has seen it. It's even on the Roku stuff, and it just has like a minute long side effects, and we laugh at it. We're like, oh, someone's got heartburn, so let's take this pill, give ourselves hepatitis B and cancer in the lung. My colon will fall out, bleeding of the rectum, nosebleeds at night, can't breathe, water filling with lungs, gout toe, fucking heart palpitations, hair will grow out of your fucking one side of your face, but not the other. It'll just fall out. You're like, yeah, you'll lose it here, but not here. It'll just grow out and you become this character. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this commercial even about? But I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen it to the point where I know that when it pops up on the screen, I can do the side effects. I'm like, as they come up, I try to read them off really quick out loud. Right? And just to be hysterical about it. Maybe like, man, what the fuck is going on here?
What about the medication?
Recognize what's happening to you and reprogram yourself back out.
My favorite is the medication that you have to take to help the other medication.
Yeah.
If this medication isn't working for you, what is it, like 15% of the people? You have to take this medication to get that.
I was like 60% of the time, it works 80% of the time for 15% of the people.
Let's just try something different.
What the fuck?
I mean, look, it sucks.
But the box said it, so I might need this because look, they're playing in the field and they're happy.
How much better it is? Look, you've been cheating and you've been taking pills because you're back, right? Now everyone knows it's not a secret, right? Because Frank has been in a lot of pain the last couple of months, right? I got off the naproxen, but I loved it because it really helped with inflammation, and I'm chugging along.
We're trying.
I don't take it.
Everything and sciencing it, and there's only so much we can do until we hit a fucking light bed. But
you hit a wall. Bed. You hit a wall, and you had to take something. And
I went back to the day I met.
How good did it feel? It felt a lot better
at Gio's house. I went back to the mindset of that. I was like, I can't take nothing. I gotta do this. I'll do the regimen. I'm not going to eat the certain foods because I fucked up. I ate a lot of cheese and stuff, like just weird stuff. I fell into my rut, and I brought myself back through that circuit.
Right.
It worked pretty good.
Right, but now you gotta do this again. We have to figure out your back pain, and now you have to get off because look, medication makes you feel wonderful, but it causes a lot of other issues.
Right. So one of the things I'm going to say tonight, because you kept saying you create your own reality, you're in the matrix, you're in the hologram. So out of order of what I want to talk about.
Is that your notes
the programming
right there, over there in that little pad?
So it's literally that this whole thing is a matrix hologram.
Yeah.
What I've seen multiple nights in a row It's literally 100% a hologram. And I want you to try to understand. I'm going to explain it from a weird perspective that maybe will help build something in your mind to help you understand what we're talking about. So everything is a fucking distraction. Everything. Are they lying? Yes. But what about the yes? Is it all drama? Yes. But what about yes? It's a distraction on purpose. Now, you come into the hologram. So imagine
it
being
is.
outside of a bubble that provides a new visual. So you're outside and you're like, bro, I could go in there. I could do that. And then you step in and you're actually sending your consciousness in, and it distorts inside the density. So you're watching from here and you're pixelating and turning into this fleshy
I gotta get a scrunchie
material inside of this place, right? And you're inside of your bubble, your aura, your cosmic egg, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's the same thing. And inside of that, you're to unpixelate yourself. Ooh, that was a big one, right? So you're looking, and it's free will. So everyone's standing around talking to you in that bubble, even you. And everyone's just trying to give you the one up. Hey, man, you could do it. 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 Only inside that matrix is the dark one telling you you can't. That's it. Straight up. There's no dark one on the outside that I'm aware of that was standing around. Nothing. And they're all like, you could do it. You could do it. I found myself at one point on my knees, enjoying myself, realizing I was outside looking at this. I was looking at it and I'm like, man, you can do this. Look. And my guy wanted to get up and kind of raw and unpixelate and become like it's hyper HD. And then I started feeling this weird pulling of me to that when it would start to unpixelate and become just, I don't know, hyper raw 100% you in there. It lights up, but then the guy on the outside just walks in and is here, just like in fucking Tron or something. So everything provided to you in these pixels, it almost looks like the crystal it's not cracked, it's fractaled. So there's like, it's not like broken and shattered out there. It's just like edges and cracks and movement within it inside the design. And then you're smoothing it out as you're bringing all of this home. So you're unpixelating yourself. I'm trying to explain this. It's very difficult but I'm looking right at it now and I'm like, yep, it's a hologram 100%. So you're 100% in the hologram, but you're 100% real. You are real. You're watching this, you're real. Trust me. Trust in that thought. You don't even have to trust me. Trust in you. Okay, so you're kind of like sitting back looking. And then as that guy or girl is able to pull away from the distractions, you're allowed to just, because you're supposed to just be able to move through this place.
Right.
But the distortions here are so much that you fractal. So you go in pure, and then it's like a fall from grace, they call it, or a fall from heaven. And then you become the whatever's down here in density. It's like as you descend, your crystal has like pieces that bend and contort and crack and pop out and do all kinds of weird shit. And in each one of those things, like one of those edges and sides, is a version of you experience some kind of timeline or version of something that you need to do. But it's not supposed to fractal out the way it's been. We're like MK Ultra fractal. There's like a natural way to do it and a non-natural way. The natural way would be you be able to just come in here and distraction free and have your experience, right? With no overlords and monsters or whatever. You get to live the way you were talking about. Can't you see the beauty? You can communicate with the animals. You get to live and build and create and do all these awesome things. But in the other versions, there's all kinds of other shit going on. And you got to like bring all of that back home, heal it trauma-wise, and then it smooths out. So the fractal you, me, was doing that. And I was pulled apart. I was pulled apart and then pushed onto the side. And I was just like in a car wash looking at my body. And then it was like there were dials and like as if it was like in the inside of a watch.
Is there a big red button?
There was a couple of buttons, but it like came apart the body, and then I went back where the body was pulled apart from. Didn't know who I was, but knew who I was, but didn't know. I could see everyone watching, the pixelated guy and me doing this, and it was really odd, but I was seeing all of it, and then experiencing it all, jumping back in. It was like redialed to a new position and reset on me. And then I was like, oh. And one of the first things I noticed is, and I told Paula this, I believe I might have said something in front of Ellen. I went outside and looked up, and it was like hyper white clouds. And then they were low, so you could see the beautiful sky in the background at night, and the moon is right over the house. And you can see planets and shit. And I was asking questions to myself, and then I just said, hey, shout out to the Galactic family. I haven't been very sweet to the Galactic Federation of lately. I used to talk to them constantly. I backed away from talking to everyone that I feel would be a distraction for me to upgrade myself for calling out to any one thing. I'm just going to upgrade me with my higher self. So I said, hey guys, and I do this thing where it's like, you ever in like Target or something, you could pull the phone off the wall and be like, hey, what's up everybody in aisle 1? We got a spill or some shit. Yeah. And you can hear them over the loudspeaker. I do that on their ship. And I just dial right in and say, yo, this is your man, Frank Castle. Haven't talked to you in a while. Love you guys. Sending you whatever. And I go, yeah, boy. And I like hang up the line. I actually do it like it's like a walkie-talkie breaker one night. Right? And I looked up, and then everywhere there was a ship appeared not white. It was yellowish or beigeish in the white cloud, and it would light up. And I go, are you fucking kidding me? They were like, we're right here. They're everywhere. I was like, holy shit.
I ordered more hemp wraps today. Oh, here, I got my good hand.
Take my good arm.
I told you, I think there's hundreds of thousands of ships up there, and they're just waiting. They're just waiting. They
were just flashing. It wasn't them. It was me being able to see them.
Right.
After I was dialed in.
Right.
And I said, oh, I could see them. But I'm seeing where they're at, almost like they're cloaked still. But if you were to look up in the white, just where they are, to me, kind of turn yellowish, or I don't know if it's yellow or if it's gold or it's beigey. It's just different. And I'm like, oh, and then you can focus on that by looking directly at it and then saying, is that you? They will fucking respond. All you got to do is be grounded and be like in meditation mode and look up and be like, hey, I got a question, and I want somebody that's right there of the high frequency to answer my question, or ask your higher self.
Look,
which one are they?
If they come down and they say, let's go, I'm like, look, get that Star Trek thing and beam us all up and find Max, Brian, and Bucky. And as long as we can bring them and all the cats, we're good. Just beam us up. I don't need anything. I'm sure you have everything I need.
I'm going to say something that's going to not shock you, but might shock others. The animals, although get tuned up in the frequency too, when they go down, they make their adjustments and everything. They're basically already there. Like the cats, though, will stop murdering things. And listen, there'll be no bear attacks, right? You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to have a dog, a bunny, a cat.
I know.
You could have a baby. I see people that have pet rats that are really smart. You have a pig. You can have all of them together. Good with the llama. You have rainbow llama.
Rainbow llama could come.
Rainbow llama, and you can have that, and they're not gonna fucking go nuts. They're gonna. This is just what I've witnessed by tuning into that frequency. So it goes with what you're saying. We're all gonna be right here. I'm going to be able, you're going to be able to, and those that are paying attention are going to be able to just dial it in. So
because it's your perception. So like when I woke up from my experience, and again, I just took a nap. Like I didn't have, Frank and I shared lunch today. I had a couple of puffs and
two joints on that.
Oh yeah. But that was it. You know, I mean, I don't know if that's bad or good. I don't know. But anyway, it's not a lot. Okay. I just took a nap. I didn't even take an edible. I wanted to take a gummy because I was like, you're staying up tonight no matter what. But I was good. I didn't even take the gummy. The point is, when I woke up and I was reintegrating back into myself, I looked around, and now where we do the show, Frank has this desk, and we have the TV over it, and there's just a whole bunch of shit on shelves. It's definitely, if you couldn't tell that Frank lived in this apartment, there's something wrong with you. So I woke up and I said, "Oh, I'm back. This is all my shit. All of this shit. This is my shit, and I love every single thing that's on this desk." And what's the matter, Reggie? That's basically it. It's like, look, problems are not going to go away, and shit's not going to come. You know, like, people are still going to have issues and problems. You just handle it the best you can. It's perspective. Like, this is my beauty. I live in beauty. Like, you may not think it, other people may not think it, but I think it and I feel it, and that's enough for me. This is an oasis right here for me. Frank and I are slowly outgrowing, will quickly outgrowing that. We have like a wall of stuff in the back bedroom now. It's just, we're basically bursting at the seams here, but it's okay because change is coming. So I'm good with that. And, you know, it's what you choose to deem beautiful around you. And, you know, problems are problems. Like, we have to take Oscar back to the vet. This has been an ongoing thing. Again, please don't send us money. I'm not asking for money. It's okay because we always come up with a way to pay for it.
No,
it's all okay. Everything is okay. It doesn't even matter. It's okay.
As I've been going every day and saying, nope, not only is it going to work itself out, it's going to really just work out. Like, it has not
but
only.
It is. Because we expect nothing less.
I got to tell you guys, this has to go back to the hologram I'm talking about, the matrix and the pixelation. As you unpixelate yourself and you fucking tune in by stepping back from every distraction, that means it doesn't matter what Trump does or what Biden does. It doesn't matter. This was that point where I wasn't allowed to see. Remember, I say, it's like you walk across the bridge and then it's static for a point. And I'm like, what's in there? And they're like, we don't know. Source don't want you to fucking see that. And I could go through the static and not see anything and pop out on the other side and see that everything's fucking awesome on the timeline, but you can't see how it happens. And they can't, they're not allowed, if they know, not to say how it happens. Right. But if you pull away from the whole thing, I mean, a fucking 100%, right? And just be involved with now moment stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying. It's hard. I'm doing a paint by numbers because I don't even want to be connected to social media.
She's been doing, like, I've never seen, well, yeah, I have, but it was a new way of seeing Paula. I was calling it sexy, smart Paula. She had the table out and had her own shit, paint stuff out. And she took my light off the desk and she hooked it up. And then she had all the paint stuff out and she's painting this beautiful picture, right?
It's a paint by numbers.
It doesn't matter. It's the colors. Remember what I was telling you the colors were representing to me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It was crazy.
Absolutely.
And I'm going, this is awesome.
But this is what I have to do. I have to still create. But I can't be like, it's funny. You got banned from
I got
Facebook
banned from my group.
You got banned for a reason because
I can't do anything.
I think we're supposed to stay away from, like,
the more I go to look, the more I get shit.
Yeah,
this is going to be
I really
throughout
think
tonight.
we have
I'll
to
talk
stay away
about
from it all. Yeah.
They keep going. Look, if I told you, if you pull away from social media completely, you'll get telepathy. How will that sit with you after you go through your addiction withdrawal?
Frankie, like, I traveled.
What are you, fucking nuts? And I got the whole group. They were like, we're just presenting something.
Frankie, I traveled and I know it was because I had less coffee today.
Yeah.
I only had 2 cups of coffee today. I wasn't very heavy and I had no it was creamery.
As we get lighter and buzz instead of being heavier with food.
This is what I'm saying. So if you just make small changes,
you vibrate high and then these weird things start to happen.
Yes.
But we're not going backwards. You can't go backwards. So
you start from here.
Even if you just go geek, then and you're like, oh bro, I'm so low on the scale. I don't even understand what you're saying.
It doesn't matter.
Geek. But I did this 20 times. It's still not working. But 21, and you're just like, whoa, man. So you're never going really back down. So it starts to happen in real life. This is the point of ayahuasca and everything. You're supposed to get to a point where you fucking get an understanding of this stuff. And then you go, oh, it's literally me. So I saw all the distractions.
It's always you. It's always
trying to get in my cosmic egg and distract me. Okay, multiple things happen that I'm going to talk about that are going to freak you out.
Oh, you're going to talk about the frog guy?
Well, hold on. I don't want to.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
They showed me during a mushroom experience a version of me that was one of the I want to call them the angled ones. I know that's really going to sound weird, but you're everything. You're to be the creator, the all. You have to have
Oh
been
yeah, you were
everything.
telling me this the other
So I'm
day.
sitting there trying to fix my ayahuasca experience by having a mushroom experience because my mind was kind of all over the place. And then it says to me,
What's the matter?
"We're calling you home." And it was such a gentle experience. I was sitting in my chair and this purple thing came out. It looked like a wormhole was forming. And then at the mouth of the wormhole was like a speaker mouth. And I've talked about this in the DMT. It's like a speaker thing comes out of the wall and starts, "Hey man." Blah, 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 blah. So this thing starts just gently trying to go over me. And I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And then it's like, "Oh, we're calling you home. It's time to come home." No, 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 no. And I'm like, "Oh, that's cute. Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me." Right. So I'm like, I'm never like that when I eat mushrooms. I'm very respectful and shit. So it's like, no, no, no. We're coming. We're coming. You're coming home now. We're taking you. So I go, "Right now?" And they're like, "Well, soon. This is all over for you, and you're gonna come back to us." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a big no for me in my book. You need to get the fuck out of here right now." So then it was like connecting to my bubble, and then I'm like, "You know what? I'm being a little bit of a dick right now." I knew it because I don't like to be like that. So I said, "Show me what you mean," because I felt great. The mushroom was so good. It was so fucking good. I can't even tell you what you would think a mushroom trip is or an experience. And then what I had that night was just amazing. It was so, my body was warm the whole time and loving. But in this split corner on the left, it was like, "You're coming home." And then it like held my arm and like showed me the angles in everything. This is how right? So in the hologram, in the pixelation, there's no rounding. There's a reflection that's weird. And then there's like these edges and sharp points. Okay. The hologram has that. When you step into it, it's like lights that are going like this and presenting all kinds of shit to you. And you're just instantly in this place. You're like, whoa. Okay. We're the circuit. We're the organic material inside of this.
Did he go out? He went out, right?
We are that which is the circle encompassing all of that inside of us. So these beings live in the angles. These beings looked like, okay, so the angles looked like circuitry in space in the hologram. It was like holographically on a higher level than the matrix that we're in. It was just fucking weird. And it was weirder. I couldn't tell if we were micro or macro, but it kind of looked macro, but I couldn't tell. And I didn't want to know. I was at that point, I was like, we're going to fuck this place. But because as soon as they showed me the angles, it was just like the lines and everything. And that's the mathematics behind it. Behind the whole thing. And they're like, "Yeah, that's where you live." And I'm like, I don't live there.
Right.
So they're like, no, you're right there. Look, we're going to show you your shit. And I looked like a dragon. It was just the head of a dragon. And I told you, I couldn't tell if it was brown and gold or it was like reddish. It was, and the head had like the little wisp antenna things, kind of like the dragon with no wings. And I was moving through the circuitry line and I was growing and I was moving and I was part of all the different things. And then I came up and I looked at myself and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty scary looking." I attributed it to a whole bunch of other things. And then I remembered, well, we travel in circles to avoid these pricks. Literally, we've talked about this from in the very beginning. The hounds are in the circuitry. So if you're traveling straight, and you're like, "Oh, I'll just go right there." Like, whoomp, they fucking catch you on the way there, and they try to like race back to your body, try to jump in before you can get all kinds of fucked up shit. So when you're taught to be circular, You know, I had to learn how to be circular just to when I figured all this shit out. I figured out how to outrun them. Then I figured out how to fight them back and take back the line. Right. So all these weird things. And it was all Toth taught me all this weird thought. You're faster than them on every level because it's your will be done.
Because
it's
you
not
can-
their will be done.
You can travel faster than the speed
Everything.
of thought. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they were like, "You're coming home," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. Fuck this guy." I go, but naturally, I had to have been him because that I felt that was me at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
Yeah, I get that.
I'm going to take that from that being,
Mm-hmm.
which is me, which is your info. You have no choice. Wait, why am I talking like this? Because it's mine. It's my birthright. You don't see, you came here and made a choice for me. You were like, oh, you're going to come home with me. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
No.
And now you are going to give that to me now. And I just take it. I don't go, well, wait for you to go, oh, okay. No, that's me, right? You wanted me to go back to you, wherever that was. I says, you fucked up so bad. And they wanted to know why. How did I fuck up? Like, what did I say to you that set you off like this? Because you really are from here. However, I'm like, I saw what they were doing, and I'm like, you said you're coming home now with us. You're gonna just finish this out, but it has nothing to do with you no more, and you're out. We're gonna come and take you. So I was like, at no point did you say Paula and your cats or your family, your mother, you, your dad, fearless family, nothing. Fuck these people was the impression was
Yeah.
these are irrelevant to you.
Yeah.
You're from here. And then I was like, nah, you're fucking beat. How's that sound? How's this sound? I was you to figure out how not to be you, just to know where you're coming from. Right? That's coming home to me now. Oh, you just took. Oh, yeah, I took it. You're done. I'm me. This is mine. You're trapped in here with me. I'm not fucking trapped in here with you. You're not real. Now I get it on the big level why the wands work and everything. They try to overpower you in your experiences. This is why you get so many people talking like they know what's going on and don't. Right? The Trump timeline is still playing itself out. This shit is still playing out. I'm not saying who's going to win or lose. I know I win. I know you win by doing this. You pull away from everything. You just get your fresh water. You make sure you got food. You do your three things. Let me say this. You do your 3D things when you need to.
Yeah.
Right? But going, you don't see, isn't going to work anymore. No. And blaming the person next to you is not going to work. No. This is about you. The only way to do this, and it doesn't, well, for, I see it, it's man and woman. It's like the battery on in a car. Mm-hmm. You need your positive, negative source cables. You need two sides of the coin. You need, so I get it when people look at us and go, well, you can do it, but we put in work. Like we want to be here together. So it's worth, I don't know. Cause honestly, do we really argue? That's why we make the joke about this. Is it gray or is it beige? That was like the fucking biggest thing that's happened to us. That
No. Let's tell them the story. So Joe and Della, you were involved in this. Sorry, you are. So our friend Rich Johnson was here hanging out. And Frank decided to tell Rich that I take all the lighters. So I was like, Frank, where are all the lighters? So he was like, I don't know, you take them all. I was like, Frank, I don't leave the house. I'm living like I'm on house arrest here. I don't leave the house unless I have to go somewhere specifically, and then I come right back. And I said, where would I take these lighters to? If I'm taking them, where am I bringing them? So I said, so now Rich is laughing. So now he gives me a lighter, and it's a beige lighter. So now it's beige. So now when I'm in the dark, I can't see a beige lighter. So I was like, why are you giving me a beige lighter? So now this is where the argument came in. This is it. So he says, well, you know, you take all the lighters and, you know, you never give the lighters back. And then I explained to him, well, where do I go to take these lighters? And I was like, you mean when Joe and Della come over, they take your lighters because they smoke. They go outside to smoke. So it was like one day, I think Joe took 5 lighters, and it wasn't on purpose. I think every time he left, he went out to smoke, he took a lighter. So then I said to him, how come you don't buy the cute one? You used to buy the fancy lighters, you know, the ones with the, like, they were psychedelic or they had flowers on them. So now Rich Johnson is sitting here and he is hysterical laughing because this is one of the dumbest conversations he's ever heard, like you're hearing now. So we're not playing string now, so stop.
You can come up here if you want.
She's obsessed with, you hear
We're
her?
playing with string.
Please, she's obsessed with playing with string, and now every time she sees you,
No.
she wants to play string.
No.
No.
Oh, I see. Someone's in the window.
Oh, all right, I'll get him.
I'll get it.
Oh, okay. So I said, Frank, how come you don't get the good lighters anymore? You used to get the ones that were pretty. And he says, well, because on Amazon they cost $14.99 and the plain ones are $11.99. And I said, what do I know? I was like, we don't like these lighters. Just get the normal lighters. And he was like, well, I was trying to save money. I was like, Frank, come on, with the $3, really? And then I was like blaming me with the lighter. So that's pretty much it. We don't really get into arguments though. That's like it. Like we don't, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I guess we argued a lot the first month we met. And because we both didn't want to be in a relationship, but I don't know. We really don't argue that much.
No, but we had conversations.
But this is it. That was the argument of the lighter. So I hope he never buys another beige lighter again because I can't see them.
It's gray.
It's not gray. Oh, it is gray. Oh, it is gray now. No, I think it's beige. No, I think that this is beige. Look, I can't.
That's fucking gray.
I think it's just like camo. Oh, I really can't see that. Whatever.
Anyway, look, my point is this. Y'all need to get to a point where this is a funny story for you in your life
This is what I'm
to be
saying.
like, it's all groovy. I don't sit. All right. There's a reason why this is fucking relevant. I'm going back to the pixelation
Maybe
again.
we were in jail together a couple of lifetimes ago, like in a prison
I'm
together.
sure they fucking
No,
tortured us and threw us in
No,
places that were shitty.
What I think bears that. Think about it, because think about it. Maybe that's why we can live in such tight quarters together. Maybe we shared a prison cell.
Maybe we
in a
just love
past
each
life.
other enough that we've done this a lot and remembered, and it's a comfortable space.
Helen was like, just get a storage unit. Oh, because Nick has like 11.
No, we're not getting storage units. And I'm
No.
going to explain why
No.
another time, because I'm not putting out any more money to store shit that I already paid for.
Right. So if it's
Yeah.
not coming with us, wherever
Then it shouldn't be
the next
here.
move is, then it shouldn't be here. We're no.
So inside of the pixelation are angles and squares and triangles and all kinds of
available.
angles. Here, let the boof in. If he's that's him. I don't know. You said he's there. Okay, so as you unfocus from everything, unfocus to the point where this is your biggest deal. This is what I mean. It's a joke on the whole thing. Well, that's the biggest thing that happens around here. You know just as well this ain't the fucking biggest thing that happens around here. However, we've learned to live together, to let each other expand and grow as much as necessary, including popping out of bounds once in a while without holding grudges, without being total prick dicks, we still have moments. I get up in the morning, I'm like, what the fuck? Right? I'm learning to be just, I get up now, I wiggle my toes instead of just throwing the blankets off, because Teddy's been with me again. So
yeah,
I'm like, there was a while for he stopped doing it for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then I woke up this morning and just, I had the best morning wake up today. I wiggled my toes and then he went and jumped on my big toe and then he was just holding it down. And I looked, I said, no, everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's really great. What the fuck is going on? Am I tuning in?
Yeah, I'm alive.
They're like, as you tune in to the new frequency, which is you can't go to with all that pixelation, right? Like your crystal your diamond you has to smooth a little bit. You got to bring this stuff back, retake everything. The only way they were showing me to do that, we're being bombarded by the whole thing. Now, factored in are things that you're interested in and things that are cool and books to read and your shows that you like and the exercise that you like to do. That's all factored into the whole thing because you have to do stuff. Okay, however, if you get caught up in it, somebody said it in the room, hold the balance. If you can do that, you neutralize the matrix around you one little pixel at a time until you're not pixelated. You not being pixelated is the light body is just, it was simple the way they showed it. They're like, it just enters the full, it's not in any of the other fractals. It is everything. It just comes back to you and you just ignite. But you already are ignited, but you have layers around you. So you think you need to go out there to get the light, but you already have the light. There are layers in front of you that you're not aware of and can't see. So it's like a plastic wrap that comes off. I talk about the condoms or the bags being put over your head. And like then another film. One. Yeah. A film.
Yeah, it's like a film.
It's like a dirty fucking but since everything's vibration and frequency, it's like dirty vibrations, dirty frequencies around us. And we're like tuning in like a radio station. And those in-between stations, the static, and then boom, you tune in.
Right.
And it's just on.
Right.
That's it.
Because most of us live in the static.
Yes. Vehicle trans. Okay. So it's weird in the static. You get pulled back and forth. Oh, I felt like I was in 5D 2 minutes ago, and now I got to see this person, and now I'm in fucking 2D all of a sudden, just being in their presence. It's like, yo, calm down. We have to pull away from the distraction. We know if someone's not harming you or doing whatever, you literally have to take the time to do this internally and not listen to me tell you to do it. It's good though, because that stuff's factored in. It's that I get lost in this with certain things as well. I go down rabbit holes sometimes. It's not always this stuff. It's like comic book stuff or stoner stuff. Like I get caught in it.
Look,
I'll be on Amazon looking at cat stuff for like 2.5 hours.
I know.
And then catch myself. The movie's over. And I'm like, still on Amazon.
I know.
What the fuck?
I know. Well,
well, you do it too. I see you do it all day.
With the party stuff. Like we're having a double birthday party. Me and Ellen. And
you'll find yourself just drifting.
Yeah, I'm just drifting.
Okay,
in
so
party land. It's
drift is okay. Drifting off is no bueno.
Oh no, I reined it in. I was like,
they're forcing the reins though.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like,
I get it.
But
I get it.
When you dial in properly, you also don't want to. You don't want to waste your time. So
no, I know. I
like they were telling me, go ahead, go on. Go ahead, go. And I start and then it's over in 2 minutes. I'm like, I can't even handle this no more.
Look, that's why I'm doing this pay by numbers, because I'm trying to stay off the internet. And I'm not a big look. I lived with my laptop when I worked corporate, and it's wonderful. Like Ellen was here one night and I went to bed and it was late, and she was like, oh, she's just going to leave a phone like that. Just leave everything behind. And I'm like, Ellen, if I didn't need a phone to say I'll be there in 10 minutes,
that
I wouldn't even have a phone. Like I like texting you in the morning, but that's it basically. I never text Frank. I didn't even know Frank's phone number until this year, 2020, because he bought Reggie a collar. We have it on the mic stand
that I'm gonna put on my Sentinel robot that I bought.
That has his phone number on it. And as soon as we put the collar on her, she like she was in a rodeo. She
I can't even believe she got that.
She got it off her neck. Like
she has like a mouse head. Like it just squeezes.
Still little like Stuart Little face. Yeah,
and off.
That's so stupid.
I watched her do it. That's why
I did too.
She got it in her mouth, and I said, "Oh, she's gonna choke to death." And then she just went blick, and I go, "Oh, she just got that off."
Like she was bucking.
She did this weird. I was like, "Oh,
Ellen's cat
she's choking out."
Ellen's cat wears these beautiful necklaces. Ellen texts me pictures
Cannoli
of a
wears
cat.
a vest.
I know. Cannoli has these beautiful little jackets. It's like I don't wear earrings anymore. It's like, should I just be sleeping in a bed on the floor? I don't know what's happening. Yeah. So Ellen's cat wears jewelry. Meanwhile, we couldn't get so that's the only reason I know Frank's phone number is because it's on the collar that's on the mic stand. And we can't give it to anyone else because the collar says Reggie. So if it's on someone else, we don't know. Yeah. I don't think anyone else is going to wear a collar either, to be honest. So that's that. We're not lying.
It was Lexi that said it. So
Oh yeah,
this is Paula saying, just live your life, man, and be happy. Like she's always opposite of me, going, "Oh my God, there are things everywhere." Right?
like,
She's like, "Yeah, that's cool." However, you got to. It's all real or it's not, and you still have to do your shit. Just go do it. I didn't even understand what they meant and she meant. It's another fucking level of awareness that we're not aware of. So when I was part of this, going back in, back out, back in, back out, back in. Now, I don't know how many times I've been through this in dream state and all kinds of whatever shit be prior to this. But at that moment, I realized it. The guy inside the hologram realized it. That version of me was so this is all going to make sense. It was my consciousness injected into it.
Yeah.
And then they were showing that other guy. It felt like physical Frank me, but I couldn't see anyone's faces, right? I was looking, I could see their bodies. So I was like, oh yeah, that's me. I knew right away. And then I was like, nah. And I was watching. And then at one point I just go in. So it's not over there.
It's right here.
That dude's standing in the room,
right.
Like, and we've talked about the room. We're standing, and I told Paula a perspective that's frightening on a level that is so cool, but not cool, because we agreed to this. And I don't know what level this is on, but I've talked about we're all standing in a room and we're all going through certain things and whatever. They showed me back. There was like the light body version of me was standing there. And then there were 3 spheres that were metallic. They weren't smooth. They were robotic looking in nature. They reminded me of the things in Spider-Man when he was fighting Mysterio. The droids. Yeah, that's a good word for it. I like that. But they were drones.
Oh, drones. That's what I meant.
The drones in the movie were projecting this fucking heavy duty hologram. And then at one point, nobody knew. And then Spider-Man launches himself in the middle of it, right? He just, where there's explosions, all kinds of weird shit. He just flies through it. And he's like on the inside background of the fun park. And he sees them all just doing it. And he's like, holy fucking shit. None of this is real. This is 100% a hologram. And he starts swinging around on all those drones. Well, it was what those things look like if they were round. They weren't round in the movie. They didn't have missile launchers on them. They had one red eye. And then it was projecting and moving alongside me, my reality that I was creating. There was 3 of them doing it. And then that version of me realized what was happening and looked up. And I realized what was happening and looked up and looked over. And everyone of me was in all the layers. The one behind, the one in front, all knew what was happening. And I looked directly into the eye. What do you need?
The mouse. Sorry.
I looked directly into the eye of these things and I'm like, oh, none of this is real at all. Holy shit. This whole thing's a projection. And then it was reading me and it was like projecting in front of me what I needed to see. But it was like neutral, that thing. I knew it was. It wasn't like evil. I was watching this though going, man, this has got to be one of the other jump off points, because there's in each frequency, there's a layer where there's a you jumping in, getting info from jumping into the next thing. You don't just come in and go right here. There's like a whole process that goes on. And there's a lot of background stuff that happens. Like you got the stuff that happens when you're in the tank hooked up inside the dimensional realities, and then outside of that as well. There's a lot happening, but all that's important and is to go back and unpixelate yourself inside the hologram. So you override all the math, all of it. You override it. It doesn't make sense to the math. It doesn't work. Doesn't fucking work. It just doesn't work. We're not mathematically possible. We're the outcome of what's the reality of things. We are source. Whatever the program says doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. Yes, we have to go through the process, but the process was okay. So there is, and there's been a deception to hold us back on the focused layer. That focused layer is the one that needs the light to be locked in and held,
Right.
which will unpixelate.
Look away.
It's like the house of card one where you pull it out and the whole thing comes down. We found it. We found the reality that we need to collectively agree to do this. Now, there's people here inside that if you inside this hologram sharing space with us, that if you played any of this tonight would have no fucking clue what we're talking about
100%. No.
at all.
Yeah.
There's no reference points. There's nothing.
You're
That's
crazy.
because they're in
You're
their
crazy. Everything you're saying
pixelation.
is crazy. Yeah.
They don't understand. They're too pixelated still. As you unpixelate and it starts to round out because you're overriding the math and the programming. It's like, it's like, no, my true nature's coming through. You don't program me, bitch. I program you. That's the best part of this. See, when you start to realize that and recognize that, you start to go, oh, wait, this is bigger than me. And even though I'm the biggest, this is very important. It's not desperation. However, the more you focus on, like, let's say, okay, so Biden's out there doing things that's making everyone unhappy. So if you're watching that and you're unhappy, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Get the information and get out.
If you're someone that's running around,
get in, get out.
You're holding up signs and you're part of protests and all that, and you're doing that kind of stuff, you're probably not ready for this kind of stuff on this level, unless you're having an experience that then lets you focus out to where we are, because you're literally in the 3D context. And there's something for everyone here, so they have to be here. It's not, well, you're not going. No, everyone's going. I see what's happening now. The split is we're going to all be standing right there. It's going to be who's aware of what, who, where, who. But where are you? Right? Where are you in that? Yeah. So when I looked at myself and saw that this is what needs to happen, it needs to occur.
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it. I want me. Yo, I was the other guy, and it's Frank. It's not. All right. His name is, I'm not telling you his name. It's none of nobody's business till he reveals himself. However, on that layered guy, when he comes out, it's me. It's the same personality. He curses. He's like, hey, how you doing? What the fuck? And I'm like, wait, I know who you are. You're the one I punched in the face, and then you beat the living shit out of me. And he was like, yes. Like, you won't win against me. I'm all of it. And I'm coming in because of you, though. This is why you're important. And I'm like, that's amazing. So that means Paul is her portal to her big version to just walk in and take over the holographic reality of the flesh suit. Period. There is no, no, that's what happens.
This is what I got. This is what I was given to work with. So I'm going to do my best to make it work.
Your DNA, I'm going to use you as the example, is transforming, being pulled apart as you're sleeping, put back, allowing more of you, that other one, to just step in. It's like you get closer and closer to the cosmic egg of the you being the I. And then you just go blip. And then the hologram isn't there. You are in real reality. You are in the real reality at that point. And you're like, wait, you're all here. Like, it felt all right on the other side with them. I couldn't see their faces because I know they didn't want me to see. And I couldn't see my reflection, but I felt it. I was focused on me. I was like, yeah, you know what? Whoever's here, that's beautiful, but you're not as important as me right now. Like, that was the part of this that's really important.
This is something I need to do
That's more important than seeing your face.
For my survival.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's my survival. Because if I don't get through this 3D shit,
then
it doesn't matter if we can't navigate through it. Like, you know, Frank and I talked about it, and we still say having Teddy stuck behind a door was harder because we're in a 3D reality. I can't do what I want to do to get him out. It's not my house. I can't do it. Legally, I cannot. But on the other side, I can do anything I want, because if I could think it, I could create it. And if I could think it, I could stop it if I don't like it. I could change it. I could alter it. I could do anything I want because I am a creator. But here, I have to play by somebody else's rules. And that's where the problem lies. You know, we have to learn how to play nice with each other. We have to learn how to navigate through this shit.
When you see who we are, it's not even like, oh, it's Source. Like, let's back away from that for a second.
For the 10,000 years you've been you.
It's the higher you. When we see each other and the lower us
you
rises,
like when people say
you're gonna be
recognize,
like, wait a second.
When people recognize, it's powerful.
Even the people that I don't get along with anymore, they're there. And it's part of this other thing, and you love that other. You're like, oh, I can't believe. Yes, it's you. And they're like, okay, calm down. You got to worry about this. This is why we don't show you this shit up front. You got to work to this. You got to break through so your body can handle it. And then that's not even the important shit. The important shit is you can handle you. You need to handle you. Your shit in the house, your heart.
If everyone stopped looking at what everyone else was doing and just concentrated on what you were doing, okay, you can know. But you know, Ellen had said it. It's like Instagram is like it's a place to feel bad about yourself. It's like a popularity contest. So just stop. Who has the nicer house? Who ordered the cutest dessert? Like,
yeah, whose animal
is the cutest? Mine are by far. But this is just the way it is. No, I'm kidding.
So it just
I'm kidding. Yeah, who made the best pasta dish?
Yeah, who has the money to do this?
Like, who cares? It doesn't even matter. But
there's good and bad to it.
And it's nice. You want to share. I get that. And if that's your intention, that's fine. But see, you have to understand
there's
all of your love and like and sweet photos. They all go into this
database
consciousness and collective. And not only that, they're going into a database, and an algorithm is being built around it. I stopped posting stuff. I always say happy birthday and stuff, but I stopped. Like, I wanted to put a picture up. Frank took a really cute picture of Oscar, and I wanted to post it, and my phone wouldn't let me. And I went into settings and I fixed everything, whatever. Still wouldn't let me post it. And then I was like, no, this is the universe who doesn't want me to post it, because he's not feeling well. So now, if it's not going to be positive energy, I don't want it to come his way.
Yeah.
So I understood that, and I backed away from it, because I loved Instagram. You know, all my nephews, and you know what I cooked, and you know how cute am I. But you know, it's so much more than that, because it's a twofold thing. It's energy.
I see my nephew and niece on there, and I go, oh, they're beautiful. However,
but it's energy, and you're going in, you're collectively going into an algorithm that makes it a technical thing.
Yeah, and then I'm like, there's so many pedos out there just looking. Oh, look how cute.
I don't even mean that. I mean, as a technological, you're going into the machine. Your photos are being siphoned in the machine.
You will be an avatar of some kind inside the machine weird mind.
Right, and that's not good.
Point, the AI weirdness.
That's not good.
You're in that being. There's like a digital you in that being created, which is what they eventually want you to connect with that thing. Right, and it's like, nah, fuck out of here with that shit. Fuck out of here.
And you know, I love our Fearless family. Like, I get my news that way from our Fearless people, because I do peruse.
Yeah, there are things that I love about it.
But that's wonderful. But for me personally, I just needed to pull back a little bit. And you know, that's
something that could be 10 minutes and be like, look, or something that's 2.5 hours.
And then Dodo and
all the time.
Yeah. But what was the one? The Chinese man saves kitten, takes him to the gym every day, and
that was one of my favorites.
Please, I can't.
We watched the cat to get on his shoulder,
and he just jumps into a backpack. That would be the day.
Yeah.
One
Oh,
of
look,
these,
I love the road.
One of these little animals would jump into a backpack. And
I'm
be
like, they're literally not showing you all the other stuff, or
Please.
that cat is
I walked
just
into
Superman.
the kitchen before to shut the window, and she was crying to me because she wants to play
Yeah.
scream.
She did the same thing
Yeah,
to me.
I know.
I'm not against it. Our animals are now talking to us in a new. See, this is okay. So it's dialed in for a minute. Inside the weirdo pixelation, I told that stuff to fuck off, right? So I know the angled ones. I get it. So yeah, I was one of them. Maybe I'm one of them at that point and that level, but now you belong to me. So to pull away, I'm like, how did we fucking pull away from this then? And then be part of it, but pull away. So they were like, oh, are you ready? I'm like, yeah. All of us, Reggie's like, yeah, I want to play. Hey, leave Roxy alone. Roxy needs a little more love. Bear's reacting to me differently. Luna's reacting to Ellen, which was amazing. Oscar reacted to Ellen. Like, watch. You almost ran her over.
Oh, sorry, Reggie.
You notice they're acting different now. What do you mean they're acting different? They're talking to us constantly. I know they're trying to just be cats doing cat things. If you're in the house with them 24/7,
communicating with you.
You know the frequency and the vibe. They start to pick up on you. You start to pick.
Give
They
me a
come
bowl of
over.
cereal.
Yeah, there's a high pitch for a. You pointed out to me. No, that cry that she's doing is food, and I fed her, and she wanted.
And then there's a
she
peak
ate.
cry.
And so I recognized it.
There's you're not
A string one.
Yeah,
Careful,
you're not
she's
playing
right
with me
under
enough.
you.
Yeah.
So all this is going on, and we're not even paying attention to it most of the time.
No.
But now my focus is on, let's say, Reggie,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, Reggie string, right? So I'll play.
Right.
I'll get high and just play and not care.
The other night you said, "Why is Bear crying?" I said, "He's hungry. Open a can of food. He wants to eat."
No,
and
but
you went, "Oh,
when you
okay."
catch the rhythm of being in the now moment,
Yeah,
like
with
our
them,
conversation before,
yes,
we were very
present. Oh yeah,
present, very present in the moment. Yeah. It unpixelates you. I can't say it fucking better than that. Being in that now moment does it 100%. So you don't have to worry about angels and demons. There's no demon there. There's nothing there. I was on the outside. There was no evil. There was nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was like a construct of douchey things that are done inside the Matrix. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, that's like what you guys do over there. Then that doesn't happen over here. It can't. It just literally cannot happen. And I felt that to be true. I was like, I feel fucking great. Like, I feel so good that I just want to walk around the room and start hugging people. But I know that's kind of weird. But the Frank guy just doesn't know what to do. I can't be thankful enough to even know that exists. Right. And they're like, dude, that's all the time normal. What you're going through is not normal. Ellen said it. I've said this a million times. It's fucking psychotic, this place. Ellen had her experience, and she like zoomed out, zoomed in, had her frequency. I don't want to talk about her experience. If you frequency, vibration, lots of stuff to do with that. And you start to understand it. You start to break through and go, oh, that's what you meant. And it's like, yeah, that's what I meant. Look, if you just tune out of that, it goes to this, and then it gets really intense.
Right, but you have to experience it in order to end it.
So you have to open your human suit
to open up to the experience. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So you focusing on you allows more control over you. Like the I am presence inside. We know you're not physical. You're the all, though. So you're everything. You're the non-physical and the physical. So you're not 100% just all, Frankie. It's just, there's more to it. But you get this understanding of it and you see it and you go, man, this is really important. Let me zone in on only those things that are really important. And then things start to blossom. So you're like, oh, I like this. I like my cat not being outside in the Bronx, running around on this street where cats get murdered. We 10 times a fucking year, we got to see dead cats or little buddies dead in the street each fucking year. And we got to go outside and go, don't go in the street. And people go, what's wrong with you guys? Like your cats are going to listen to you. I got it down to like 2 cats doing shit outside. They stay right here and come. Mine, Reggie, she's back. I'm like, listen, I grabbed her one day and said, I can't do this with you. If you're going to be going across the street over there, the people do not care. They will run you over. I was looking right into her eyes. I'm like, do you not want to be with me through this experience? Do you want to die just like you died as Squeak and had to come back? Is that what you want to do? Because it's too hard for me if that's what you're going to do. So if we can tone it down and maybe spend more time together or something, because I'm always here, I would really appreciate that. But you need to make that choice because I can't. That's your contract. And she's fucking in the house with me all the time.
Yeah.
So when someone says something to me and it sounds out of whack, I'm like, man, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They literally, Teddy is with me all the time. He runs out, he does his little tour, and he comes right back. They're all right over here. I caught them.
Like 4 of them in the bed. They're just having a love fest.
But it's we're dialed up, so the crazy is dialed down. I can't explain it. It's like we're meeting this, and as we do that, we're breaking through literally all of those plastics that we're not seeing, those things
those
over
layers.
us,
It's
those
terrible.
layers, they're right in front of you. I know you. Ellen saw that shit and she was like, yo, this is fucking psychotic. I go, because we can do it. That's why we did it.
Right.
Because when I was there, I said, why are we doing this again? And they're like, because you were the only ones that could. You literally are the only ones that were like, we got this. And we're like, we're going in. He goes, you know, you guys pass and fail on your results, not on our results. But we recognize how hard this is, which is why some of them do not go. Which is why you'll get beings like, nah, this is the greatest show on earth, but fuck that. Where there's other beings like, I got to get into this human experience. But we were there from day one. We're made up of all the material. So as light beings before anything happened with time wars and deception and all that, before that stuff, we knew what was going on. And we were living our life and different things happened. Things moved in and took over the matrix. They created a fake reality by programming you throughout history over and over through your genetics to hold back something that should have happened should happen naturally, which is why we're here doing it. The reason why we were tricked coming into the bodies, they say tricked, but Source was like, you weren't tricked. You knew exactly what the fuck was going to happen. You just played dumb. Right? You went and got the amnesia. You were like, dude, we got to lose it to get it back, and left yourself clues everywhere to figure everything out, because Source doesn't lose. Right?
No, it just takes a long way sometimes.
It had to rid itself of the bullshit.
Right.
Right? Okay, so 2 days, 3 days, 5 days in whatever these characters are in office, right? Already everything nobody wants. It's revealing itself.
It's all okay.
Right?
It's all gonna be okay.
It just be like what I tell you about saying
okay.
no and doing you. And then Paula going, you just got to live your life.
You just got,
and it doesn't matter. We're in the static. This is it.
Yeah. It's almost like a little loop.
Okay. They're trying to reinsert us into the loop. Okay. They're inside of something that's naturally occurring. The torus of life within us, within the one that we're standing in, which is Aya herself. It's Mother Earth. It's like her. And then actually being in one in another place where we're picking and choosing where to pick and go and do that. And then pulling back further. And there's another guy there. And there are things creating holographic realities around you. They're hijacking from different positions. And they know we're doing it. There's nothing they can do. So they appear as the Empire and the evil, whatever. And then it fucking turns into Spaceballs. Literally turns into Spaceballs. Oh, I felt that one through my whole chakra system. It's clown shoes now, guys. Girls, ladies, gentlemen, come on. It's clown shoes. We're seeing it. Stop fighting for it. Let it go. All right. One of the weirdest things for me was not being into sports anymore, letting go of everything. I was the biggest Jet fan. I literally, in one shot, let it go. Had to. It was holding me in place. I'm not saying I like to look once in a while, whatever, just to give a peek or two, but I give no energy to it. And it never did. It never rose. It actually fell from its position. It doesn't matter. I'm the winner all the time. Right? Like, it has to go back to that. So I had to just let it go. let go of all of it, everything. And then they're like, oh, that's why when they say get empty in meditation, that's what they mean. You have to get in there, heal your trauma. You're not healing trauma, by the way, from this lifetime. You might be, of course, everyone is, right? That makes no sense, Frank. Everyone is healing trauma from this life, but it's really to get into these positions, healing all your trauma from all lifetimes. So Aya, mushrooms, organics in that ilk and nature, the organic way to do it will unlock you and allow you to like zip through that quicker, to catch up, so you can do it on this focused lifetime in the timeline that you're supposed to be doing it in. Now, some of you aren't supposed to be doing that. It's not your purpose. It's my purpose. The psychedelics are just helping me get into position because it's that caked up anyway. We're that messy. We're that pixelated. But there's nothing pixel about you. Your holographic is pixelated, yes, but the real you, the light body, is going to shut that shit down. It's going to round out the edges. It's good. You're going to be the circle with it all inside of you. And you're going to be like, listen, I'm the creator. This is what it means. I'm the programmer. So if you wrote a story and you could watch it on YouTube play out and you got sucked into it, and then the character in the show tries to kick your ass or steal your girlfriend or do something crazy to you, and you're like, dude, I'm the guy that wrote this fucking thing. I'm going to finish the story while I'm in here. You're getting out of control. That's it. So these things can't tell you what to do. They'll try, but they're written to do that. Okay, so we're unprogramming that. This is what they mean when they say this shit's not even real. This thing, it's not there. You think it's there because you're in agreed, you're in a density and an agreed level, place, frequency, whatever, vibration, where things do this. But you're not from there. But you are there, which makes you part of that. But you're also from here, and this, that, the other thing. And I'm like, well, that's everything. And they're like, well, you're everything. That's why we just show you the giant light source, let you go up in a source and go, oh shit, it's everything. Because if I had to list it, it'd be ridiculous. It makes no fucking sense. Because it's always been, it's never not been. How do you go back to the start point? Well, I was a point of light. We'll start with that one, right?
But that's what
You start as a point of light at some point, right? Which is always been. So you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty intense. Okay. And then you start having individual experiences based on big source telling you, go out there and do your thing, bro. So I'm going to say, when you plug in and get into the tube, to the pod, and you connect in, and then your consciousness goes through, you shoot into a level. There's a version of you now in that level. And then you work your way down all the levels, frequencies and vibrations, going to the lowest, realizing, oh my gosh, I'm not part of anything, to being like, I'm the fucking creator. Right. You had to do it to have the experience. So on all those levels. So now we're building to an experience where it was really dark and now it's going to be really, really light. If you choose to take that path, you could choose not to, which is now back to what Paula was going through. She's like telling her family, don't you see it? Don't you see it? And they're like, no, we're not feeling the way you feel about this place. I'm not feeling like that this place is that cool. And it's like, to you, it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. They cannot see it, but they're there. But they're like, I'm not really feeling it. I'm going to get out of here.
But that's the way it's going to be. We're all going to be together. We're not going anywhere. We're not physically leaving. It's just going to be your perception of things.
So now inside of that, the tuning in and out, could it be possible that just the realization of the person and connecting with them allows you then to go into the frequency and vibration they're in? But when you disappear from their eyes, you're really no longer there, even though you're there, because they'll lose sight of you where you won't lose sight of them.
I think they'll have less of a need for you.
Well, you fall
I
away
think
like
that's
in
what's
McFly.
happening. Yeah, you fall away. Like
with that photograph, they start to
Yeah,
disappear until they're all
you
gone.
fall away because you can't vibe with people that are not on the same frequency.
But then
it doesn't happen.
It plays out in such a tune. Hey, I'm going to get you on this one. You ready? It plays back in such a way that remember how they come back to life inside the photograph?
Mm-hmm.
That's your point of wake up.
Oh, absolutely.
So everyone's on that timeline. So it'll happen like that.
When it's going to happen.
To every single individual in your own personalized experience.
And then what do you say? You say, welcome. Let's start from here. Start from here.
And then as you start to wake up, you think you're discovering history and the whatever. Your
dad.
And then
did you ever?
It's always been there. It's never not been there.
Did you ever think you'd have these conversations with your father?
No, my dad is pretty cool. So I'm glad we're at the point where when you defeat your demon, it makes everything easier. And we're at this level where you make your choice. He made his choice. So I'm glad he made the choice he did. He's glad I made the choice I made. If it wasn't for Paula, this probably wouldn't happen at all the way it happened. But it seems like it's supposed to be because it feels so correct. He made me a t-shirt that says
1-800-Ayahuasca.
Right. He's like, it's got like a little design on each side. He's like, I just wanted to make you something. And I was thinking about it. And I was like, what would you do if you couldn't? He goes, if your mind, he had like a punchline and everything for like the commercial. And then he's like, I kept thinking about it, like your mind's gone all over the place. And who can you trust? You. Trust yourself, right? And then he goes 1-800-Ayahuasca, right? And he goes, I had to look it up to see how to spell it, and he just basically wrote it on a shirt. And it was cute and everything. It doesn't look bad. It's just interesting. I've never had a gift like that.
That this guy took the time to do this.
So he was telling the story and he was doing it. So I was like, yo, that's really nice, man. But okay, so just that awareness of that kind of stuff raises the vibration, unpixelates you.
But it does. And once you raise your vibration, unless you allow it to go back down because you're sitting in the dirt, sitting in the mud with people that are vibrating lower, it'll stay up there. There's no reason
things
for it
like
not
pain
to.
and sickness.
Yeah, like once you
disease,
go up, you don't go back down.
This is what they mean by getting your wings back. You feel it physically in your back because at one point you are the angel, but you have to be everything inside the whole construct of every construct everywhere to even be here. You would not be here. This is why it's so fucking crazy. This is why everyone's here. This has never been done like this. It's been done by people, by beings. It gets done in ascension terms all over the place, but never like this, and never with humans. Not like this at all. So the creators are popping off. That's all I'm getting at here.
Because you could just do this with your mind. You don't need a psychedelic. You don't need anything. You don't need anything. You just make a decision. And then the next time, make a decision. And if it doesn't work, make a different decision.
Well, many of us are like, we're all sick, as the shaman would see it. And then we start to heal ourselves because we're all sick. And then you go, oh, and then you turn to your left and right.
Right.
And you start helping those, they start healing themselves and they turn left and right.
Right.
You can't run into the crowd. Oh, I got ayahuasca. Like that. It doesn't work like that. So I did a lot of stuff in my life that backed me up. I did a lot of bad stuff and good stuff in my other lives that you have to deal with that trauma.
Well, that's what they were talking about, balance, right? It's all about balance.
So it's exactly what you're saying, but in my world, I needed it. If it
definitely.
See how it helped me,
no,
but
believe
it's
me,
not for everyone, but it is.
I still need
helpful.
Aya. I just have it. I just don't want to.
It's like a tool that you use to help your body.
Oh yeah.
Blast right through.
Absolutely.
So Aya blasts all the highways clear, right? In your mind, in your head, and whatever, your conscious, everything gets blasted out.
Right.
You're like, whoa. And then she was like, go eat mushrooms. And the mushrooms regrow
the neural pathways.
The neural pathways, allowing new, prosperous, clean, think of a no traffic highway, no stopping the thought. See, this is the thing. If there's no stopping the thought, then you manifest things because that's the real you.
Well, it reprograms too, because if you were afraid of something before, like say you were afraid of dogs because you were bitten by a dog, and you clear those neural pathways out, and then you start to reform them, your feelings about being bitten by a dog have now changed, and you're no longer afraid of that.
Yes.
Can't be afraid of every dog because you got bitten by a dog. What did you do in the position? What did you do in the situation to provoke the situation? You know, and come out of the situation and say, okay, it was something that happened, and I that will never happen again, because I will never be in a situation to be bitten by a dog. You know, but that's life. You know, you apply it to everything. You know, it works. Just do something. Like, it works. Like, you know, I can't. I don't know how else to say
it's
it.
correct.
Like,
It's
yeah.
Look, you go do your stuff, but it's your awareness grows. You got to do the other side of the stuff. So you're doing your 3D stuff,
Right.
then you do your spiritual stuff.
Right.
Because you have to find that balance.
You do.
And then you start smashing things. Like a demon would not even, I'm going to just be honest with you guys. At this point, none of those things want to show up around here. They'll get smacked so hard that they might opt to just never come in and just leave you before coming in my home. And if they're strong enough to get in, they might not stay too long.
Right.
So either you'll eject yourself or it'll
Aw.
eject out and bounce out of here. We have to
Is she
learn
there? I got it.
as individuals
Thank you, Sam.
that things like demons, yeah, they exist. It's nothing. It's like a speck in the reality of it. And they always appear bigger when you're in more fear. What's fear? Fear's fucking fake too. I'm not afraid. What are you afraid of? Oh, I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of getting cancer. I'm afraid of this, afraid of that. You keep just putting these, I'm afraid of all this stuff. All of a sudden, the universe is like, guess what, dude? Your life is going to be full of all the stuff that you're afraid of. And then you start compacting out to all these other things. I'm afraid of a snake. I'm afraid of this G.I. Joe figure. I'm afraid of the vape juice. I'm afraid of this. And then you wind up with cancer. You wind up with these things from all these fucked up choices and feelings that you have towards all these different things, instead of just walking straight through it and conquering it. No, I'm going to do this. I know what it does, and I'm going to overcome this right now. Not that you have a blind eye to it, that you're fully aware of it. Like, people are like, well, I don't want to hear this shit. I'm like, well, then you're not ready to learn.
And that's okay.
We're all going, and it's okay. But you're not going to be where I'm at. You're not going to be accessible. I'm not going to be accessible to you. I would have to pop up,
right,
for you to be around me, because it would
okay
just
too.
be, it's okay. It's just, it would be impossible. It'd hurt you. It would hurt you being in my presence.
Is she behind my chair?
She's around here somewhere.
Oh, of course she is.
So all these weird things are occurring, and we're right dab in the middle of it. And you know what? Everyone's like, well, what's the next thing that we got to do to escape the matrix? No,
Just be.
If you lock down and heal your traumas, love yourself, all the things Paula talks about, all the things you probably hear that are good, that work for you from the other people, fresh water, clean things, be aware of this, be aware of that. It's a lot of stuff, right? But when we first started this, it was a lot. But now we're here, it's a lot of new stuff. But if you worked your base the whole time,
Right. Incorporate it into your routine,
then
it's like brushing your teeth.
You're building this amazing thing. Right? You just do. Okay, yeah, we stumbled back a little bit, but no, we still keep going. And now we find ourselves here today. And it's like, whoa, what is this? And it's like, well, it's happening. It's been happening the whole time. You begin to realize it just constantly loops back into you. To you, it could loop back into distractions or loop back into you. And then when you look into you, you realize how many distractions are within you. And then you start freaking out. And then you go, I need to pull away from this. And then you're having a cigarette while you're drinking coffee, while you're doing this, and you're doing that. You're fucking monkey doing this, and then doing that. And then you're like, bro, look what's happening to everyone. It's like, no, you have to back out of that right now. Snap out of it. And then you realize how many distractions were there. So many that my heart was beating fast. Bro, I couldn't breathe. It was so scary. What was scary? It was so scary. What was so scary? I'm going to draw a picture. You show me where it was scary. Bro, dude. All right, you got to come out of that. And then as you back out of that, you go, oh, that really wasn't that bad. Oh, it's crazy and psychotic.
It was that scary,
I
could handle it.
I was going to say, it is all psychotic. but
Yeah.
then you start to handle it because you're built to say that you're built to do this is like an understatement. Like the body was literally created so you could break through with it.
Dude, what I saw.
Dude, you're the
what
best.
I
love this version
what I
of you.
saw. What I saw this afternoon, this evening, tonight. What I saw, and I knew I wasn't sleeping. I was like, oh, okay, let's do this. Like let's go through it.
All I want to do is break through now, knowing this. Seeing it is so I had to see it to believe it, but I was already open to seeing it because I do believe in it in all. So then it could be anything that occurs.
Look,
whatever comes to the table and they go,
That's
da-da, right. I'm like, oh,
That's
okay,
right.
You too.
I deserve more. And it has nothing to do with things like this. It's not.
No, you were saying
this.
They're not worthy because they don't think they're worthy. Like they're not worthy. What's going on here?
I know and I feel I am just as happy here as I would be anywhere else because you make everywhere you are your home. It doesn't matter. This has nothing to do with this. But we all deserve more. We deserve ease. We deserve comfort. We deserve not to worry about everything that we watch on the news. And we need not to worry about what are happening to our children when they're not with us. So I get that. I get that. But you have to have some ease around you because you are like, what were you talking about? That lightning rod? Yeah. If you're a lightning rod, if you're not grounded, you're just shooting off in all directions.
What's happening?
You're gonna kill someone by accident. Like
that's so crazy.
You have to be grounded.
And it's like, yes, it's psychotic. It's crazy. It is. It's the upside down. Why are we here? Because we can do it. Are you fucking nuts? It's like, no, we are fucking nuts.
Together.
We're all collectively fucking crazy. We decided to do this because we can do it, because somebody has to, and we can do. So we did it. We're here in the focus point where it's happening. And then you shake out of it, and then you're like, wow, that was scary. But now you're on another level. So you're like, wow, now that I'm looking at it, it's almost like when you were little and you thought something was under your bed. Regardless, I know there are things under the bed.
There probably was something under your bed.
But you get to this point where you get up out of the bed, right? You look under and you look at whatever's under the bed. And people are like, I don't want to look what's under there. It's like, but you have to because it's you.
Right.
That thing is a piece of you.
You're right.
Just go down there and look at it.
Right.
So then you get pissed one night. You're like, yo, I wet the bed 36,000 times. I wasted 4,662 minutes of this. You know, how many times that I wander off and think how afraid I'm going to be when I go to sleep at night, just to go ahead and learn that you're the creator. And then to pull the fucking, I don't even get on my knees and
you
look.
Created a fear-conscious spiral right over your bed.
A fear-conscious spiral where you sleep.
Every time I'm here, I'm going to be afraid. I'm going to be afraid. I'm going to be afraid.
How many hours wasted you're taking a shit or a shower and you're like, bro.
I did it. I was scared I was a kid. I was scared to take a shower alone for a whole year. My sister had to be in the bathroom.
I completely understand this because I
watched
had
a
the
scary
closet
movie.
character. Just to realize I knew now what was in the closet. However, I got up at one point, even as a kid, and just said, you know what? I'm going to leave the closet open. Come out here. And I would know in the dark, it would go right to where I can't see it. And I'm like, I'm not scared of you, bro. This is my room. Like you can't hang out near my fucking Star Wars and He-Man figures as a kid. I'm like, you can't. Like Luke Skywalker, if you're an evil Sith monster, okay? If you're an evil Sith monster, Luke Skywalker would be very depressed at me if he knew that I let you stay here and I was curled up in the bed. Like you just wake up and you're sick of it one day. Just like when I was sick of the bully. I hit the bully inside of a store. He just fucking pushed the button, man. And I was like, I can't let him do this to me anymore. And I had been practicing how to fight. So I'm like, I threw the punch and he didn't expect it. And I broke his whole shit. His nose was inside his head. Now, I'm not saying go out and do that. No, metaphorically, but you should do that inside of you to the fear spiral that's controlling you. I'm saying it echoes out into everything. So that goes from the thing in the closet to the bully in the street to the thing that's bothering you in your life.
It's the same thing. It's something to be afraid of. You're giving yourself things
as
to be
above,
afraid of.
so below.
Yeah.
So it just works itself into all these things.
What am I going to be afraid of today? Because I did it too. I did it with everything. My nephews and just stupid shit. I'm like, I'm afraid of stupid shit that
Yeah,
may
we're
or may
not
not happen.
saying
Like,
it
what am
doesn't
I?
happen to
what am
us. We
I-
had to get our shit straightened
Yeah.
out.
Well, what are you doing here? Like, stop. Just stop.
And last week, like mine ran with me a little bit too. So there's another opportunity to watch me like being in a little frizzle frazzle in between timelines. And then sitting here today, straightened out, going, no, I could see the shit in the clouds now. And this is going on, this is going on. It's like you're tuned and my heart's not racing talking about any of this stuff.
Mhm.
I'm in a calm position. My back still hurts, but it's not overtaking me. So I'm overtaking
right.
it.
Right.
It's
One
like
day-
I'm aware,
One day at a
but
time.
you
yeah.
cannot take me.
Mhm.
Okay. So put it in the bowl, right? I control me,
Mhm.
right? So we talked about unplugging from things. We've talked weeks ago about sickness, unplugging last year after we got sick,
Oh,
or
yeah.
2 years ago almost now.
Yeah, 2 years.
I was like, I'm never going to get sick again after this, ever. So is that COVID thing really a strain of things that they thought was going to do one thing, or was it manipulated to wake us up? Because I haven't, when I started feeling not good is when I ran my body into the ground, and then I felt the sickness come on and I MMS'd, and then it was gone. And I said, wait a second, time out here. What's going on inside of me? And I felt like as I was staying, I stayed away for 2 days. I was going down, down, down. And then I hit this bottom point where my body was like, I wasn't happy. And it started immediately going back the other way. And I was like, oh. So as I drop in frequency, I just get attachments to these things that shouldn't affect me at this level.
Yep. You invite
literally, physically.
illness and all that shit in.
Right. And then those mushroom trips at the time we talked about on the show showed parasites and attachments.
Mhm.
And then I was purging them out, these worm things that were parasitic inside of me, doing all this crazy shit, and then gone. And I'm like, so how are you guys just gone with it? Are you just showing light to me or whatever? Regardless of anything, what they're doing, what I'm doing is rising into that place where they
Right.
can't be.
Right.
So yeah, technically they are gone, even if I'm there and they're helping me get rid of them, because I can't be there with them there, because then that my frequency would be shitty. It's like we let Frank onto the ship, but we let him take his parasites in here. Like, no, they say you can't come in the ship without.
That's how
you got to get rid of them and come in.
That's how every crew on every ship in space dies, because the parasite gets out.
Right.
It kills everybody. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to get the light,
Right.
but you are the light.
Right.
So there's this weird thing that happens,
Yeah.
and that you're there with them, and you're like, wait a second, were you guys scanning me and then hitting me with light inside of my chakra? They're like, well, you're inside you. We're here.
So is that
And
what
you
they
can't
mean?
come here.
Is that what they mean when they say "get out of my head"?
Yeah, well, they're right there. So this was another thing. We're all standing around each other at one point. I was watching like this and going, I can't believe what's happening here. And I was smiling like a little dummy, a silly little monkey, right? And I was having a great time. And you were like coming over to me every few minutes, checking on me, and you were completely pixelated to me.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know what was it? What did I look like? I was a mess, right?
You look like a big cherub bearded baby, Frankie.
Okay, so I had blanket over me because I have to just talk about this part.
Okay.
Because I actually have a lot to talk about.
You can talk as long as you want. I have pizza in the oven though. So
You do?
when it's done, I'm gonna eat it. I'm starving.
I was going to ask you if you wanted to cook tonight. Not you cook. I would cook.
I
but
couldn't wait that
I
long.
would
I'm
make
starving.
whatever you want.
You can still make it. I just put a couple of frozen pizzas in there. So.
That's pretty sweet.
You're welcome.
All right. So I felt like I was in my cosmic egg, inside my aura. It's all the same thing, but then had the blanket around me. And the whole Aya experience and then everything since has been about patience. That was like the one thing that overshot all of our stuff. Right? So I was choking on my I had the blanket over
That's
me.
why they call it a virtue, because patience is not a easy thing to attain. You just don't wake up and say, wow, if today and for the rest of my life I'm going to be patient. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you have to have your patience tested to see where your level is, to understand what even is going on
Right.
emotionally, physically, what the distortions are,
Mhm.
to know that you need to pull back and be cool because the other person's actually the one with the problem or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would go on my back and gurgle and go, no, I don't like that feeling, because I was also outside of my body watching it being taken apart. So I'd giggle. It didn't hurt. None of this hurt. So I said to myself, I got to cover my face. So I cover like this and I'm on my back and it doesn't feel right. So I uncover, I gurgle, and then I go, I got to rub my face, I got my throat. And I realized I didn't have hands or a body under what you can see
Under the
outside of the
blanket.
sheet. So if
On
my
the
head was
blanket,
popped
yeah.
up, it was real. So I didn't have hands. And I even said, what the fuck are hands? But my head was popped out and I was like, this is really, really weird. But I was giggling at it because it felt funny to me.
So you were just a
So I
fragging
went,
head.
where's my, yeah, like a floating head, still attached to everything, but there was nothing there. When I looked,
Mhm.
it was liquid green. Not green, not like that. Green energy,
Oh, okay.
like doing that,
Just swirling around.
just swirling around and
Okay.
stuff, right? So yeah, it wasn't like green.
Slime. Okay.
So I was getting this weird download that, like an insect, your insect DNA allows you to like liquefy down to nothing and then just come back to something that is.
Wow.
So I'm like, makes sense. I'm the creator, right? Maybe a less nasty way to do this, perhaps, right? Like I was kind of bugging out on this fact. So I went to go. This was so funny to me. I went to touch my face, and as I felt the whole floating head thing, and my hand started to pop out, and I was looking, and it was making my hand as I thought about it and looked at it. It was really fucking weird. And then it went, and I realized everything was okay. And I touched my throat, and then down here under the blanket, I had to like create a throat area to touch. Like it was accessible easily, but it wasn't there until. So I was like, yo, what the fuck is happening? And they're like, dude, that's your consciousness. You could do anything. You could shapeshift into anything. So I'm like, shapeshift? That's like what reptilians are. Like, forget reptilians aren't out here. So inside the pixelation, there's all that shit. But out here, they're not there. So you want like the big guy from here to overcome the matrix over there. So there's this weird thing where we come together and we're just one, but we're already one. But because of the situation, it has to work its way back to this. So you feel all this craziness. So you really are the creator. You are the all. You're the programmer. You're all this stuff. It's all true. And you're in here doing all this. And I'm like, oh shit. And I start rubbing my face and I'm going back and forth. And then I just put my head under the blanket and I started gurgling because I turned to liquid, like liquid energy. And I was going, everything's liquid, but it's lighting up. And I don't feel dispatched from myself. I feel like more of me, but I couldn't really say like I'm human or I'm this. Like I couldn't put my finger on that. And I was laughing about it. And then I would feel like the wind on, like from something on the top of my head, which my head would pop out a little bit, maybe from the covers. And I feel that getting solid. And I'm like giggling, hee, right? So I put my head back over it. Everything around me at one point looked like everything was black and then lines of energy and code and then the matrix pixelation versions of us, almost like if we were in, there's that Minecraft game, everything's kind of boxy and pixelated and shit. Like I can't stand even looking at that stuff, but that's what it reminded me of. And I was like, ooh, we got to fix this, right? And you tune in to the other version where your body physically accepts the DNA transformation, opens the physical vessel up, and you're able to just step in all of it at once. It like sucks it everything back home, but you're attached to everything because you already are everything. So it's this big weird thing that's happening. So yes, it is psychotic. It's fucking crazy, right? So I start gurgling and I can't breathe. So I turn over a little and then the image changes. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like I could see under the chessboard now. I could see like the background stuff that I didn't really want to, stuff they don't want you to see. They're like, look, could you lay on your back? If we told you lay on your back, like something special is going to happen. I'm like, listen, I'm very uncomfortable. I can't tell if I got to pee, I got to poop, I got to throw up. Now I still haven't purged yet. And I was kind of like, I'm usually not as rude as I was, but I was trying to be funny. But they were like, yo, could you lay on your back? So I was like, listen, could you stop asking me to lay on my fucking back? I can't breathe. So I'm going to turn on my side. And it didn't sound like ayahuasca. It sounded like a man talking to me. So I was like, I'm just going to turn on my side. And then you can just show me on the angle what's happening. And they're like, all right, take a look over here on the angle. And I look over and I see like a mountain goat or a billy goat. And then it was like really stoic looking. This is so funny. So I look over and it looks over at me and then just kind of does that. Right? So I'm like, what's up with this fucking thing? Just like that. What's up with this fucking thing? And it goes, the guy talking says, okay, this billy goat needs to eat. It's going to starve to death. There's no food. So I'm standing next to it and I'm like standing and surrounded by food in abundance, right? So I go, hey, goat, Billy guy, whatever, right? To look over here. I need to talk to you for a second. I know I could see him starving a little bit. I see him like shrinking a little bit, like I need something to eat, but it was just looking this way, like wouldn't look at me. So I'm like, hey, could you turn around and look at me for a second? Right? And so I'm like, yo, listen, could you look at me for a second? Look, right here, there's food. I even got food in my hand and I'll give it to you. I put it right in his fucking face. And he was like, he refused. You could see his eyeballs refusing to fucking look. And I'm like, dude, right here, there's enough for all of us. So I turn around and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this thing's problem? Why won't it just look? So then this guy comes out and he's got the Egyptian garb on. And then it's like me and him are standing there. It's like when I turned, it went into slow motion. And it's just, he came out and I was like, oh, cool. Look at this guy. And he goes, hey, yeah, mind laying on your back for a minute? So I'm like, I don't think so, buddy. And I shook his hand. And then it like clipped to another thing where he goes, yeah, he's not listening, huh? So I'm like, yeah, this is really difficult. And he goes, yeah, mind laying on your back? He puts his hand out again. So I go, listen, I keep choking on my when I lay on my back. And I feel like I can't breathe right. Perhaps it's not because maybe there's not a pillow around my head, or I'm not high enough, or I didn't throw up. I don't want to die that way. And I know you guys are good that way, but I'm literally feeling weird. I never really feel like this. So I'm not going to fucking do it. Think of another way. I know you have the power to do it. And then I go back to the billy goat, and then the billy goat now is getting, it's like the place is getting like close to the edge and all this shit. I'm like, hey, billy goat, you got to come over here. Like the wind will knock you off, and all this weird stuff was happening. And it just would not fucking do it. So then I become the billy goat.
Well, that was the metaphor.
Right. And then I'm like, as the billy goat, I see me come over. And then I'm like, fuck this stupid guy in the billy goat head. It was the funniest thing. I was going, I am the wise one. Me. I need nothing. And then this thing, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Now, there were really interesting feelings that felt uh that were felt good being part of this, but other things that were like, oh, I got a better understanding now, like how pride and just not listen,
Trust me.
not listening at all, and just being a dick, like being a dick about it. Like they were like, this character was developed through source, so you can have that experience emotionally to understand before you're human what that is. So when you're like, your pride will kill you if you follow that path, you're gonna die if you keep doing that. And all you got to do is look over. Right. So then I was getting that from inside this thing. So I popped back out, and then I was like, really, like, I don't want to do this no more. You fucking suck. Right. I was like, you're good. I love you, but I don't, you're not listening to me. And I look over and the guy goes, hey, buddy. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? He goes, yo, you want to lay on your back? And I'm like, fuck you, bro. Fuck this. Right. So then they were laughing at me. It wasn't like mean. It was like laughter. They couldn't get me to do, just like the billy goat.
You were the billy goat.
I know. It echoed back to me and this other guy, which I don't feel like he was me. He even said to this woman, I heard him talking, hey, don't worry, I got this one. And he kept smiling at me. So we would shake hands, and then I'm like, fuck no. Like I was bucking the system. And then all the energies in the wall, and I swear to space fucking Jesus, came down into my feet, into my loin area, came up, and I grabbed that fucking bucket when I had the realization that I was the problem here. Mm-hmm. And I threw up so hard, but what I was not in my body was being taken apart. So I was in it, but I wasn't in it. And I couldn't see the actual bucket, but I could feel the bucket. And I heard Ellen, but I thought it was you. And I heard talking at one point. I don't even know what was being said, but I knew, I was aware, but I couldn't see with my eyes open anything but black and the energy. And I would see the energy come up out of me, and then it was like being dumped, like electrical discharges through circuitry right into the bucket. And after the last heave ho, I fucking opened my eyes. I felt great. I was like, I went and brushed my teeth and did that. That's when I was walking around. I started eating the cookies and stuff. You're like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. Right? I was just doing some weird shit. Eventually, I laid back down. I'll keep it short. And I laid later on. I thought, oh, I guess it's finishing now. And it just kicked right back in. Oh, it was fucking crazy. So I laid back down, and I basically had to just go through that experience. Everything was patient, everything. Mm-hmm. So I laid on my back and said, okay, I'm ready. I'm laying on my back. And then they were like, ah. And I go, hey, it's weird. None of you guys tell me to go fuck myself. You fucking fat little jerk, right? Like, you're not like this. Like, why don't you just fucking listen? Like, I never hear you guys say that. I always hear like, oh, take a minute. Like, the ones that are trying to help will always be nice. They're always so polite. And that's why I'm like, if they're telling you you have to do something, it's usually not who you think it is. It's usually something trying to distract you again, because the distractions are there spiritually. It's fucking crazy. That pizza looks so good that you just ate. That's what I'm looking at. She's eating pizza right next to me, and I'm like, ah. But I had to learn to be just patient and chill with myself, and then just take a moment in the realization, and then everything is actually okay, because I might have just had to clear my throat. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you needed to have trust and faith in him.
Hi, Teddy Bo Betty.
And you weren't giving him, so that's why he kept saying, showing you the billy goat.
Yeah.
Showing you the billy goat, like, hey, dude, we could do this all day. You're not getting it.
So when I got it, it was like a cheer from the other side. And then my awareness of it made me start laughing. And once again, feeling now lighter days later.
Yeah.
Through all the experiences. Totally. So now more of the other character the big me, the big version of me is now there. It's more accessible. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are just the same, but not. The colors are different. It's slightly different right now. When I was under, I ate mushrooms the other night, and I kept bombing myself with them night after night. And just up to a gram. I know that sounds like, oh, I'm bombing. Every time I do it, it's like a DMT experience for me. So it gets out of control. So I can't do 8 hours of that. I could do 4 hours, 5 hours, maybe. It always lasts, but I mean, being there out of me looking, I can't do that for too long with all the cats and shit. So I want to be in it, in my body, having the experiences, because this is where the big payoff is, inside of this space. So I'm like, let's fucking do it. Everything has been about patience, calm, be easy, step away. You're being programmed. It's all fake. It's a story. It's a script. Yeah. All right. You look at the hierarchy and everything, and then when you're looking at it, you're like, wait, I'm out here looking at it, so it's not bigger than me. And then you go in it and you're like, oh, but outside you're the authority, and you're bringing that here. That's what they call that moral shit. Like, just you being alive here is enough, where you get all these rights, and they're trying to subvert that on every level. Right. If you're not involved with that directly, like if you're not going out doing the thing for that specific thing or a certain specific thing, because we all have specific things, then you over worrying about it takes you away from your upgrading. See, if we didn't have TV and all this other shit, you would just be doing whatever 3D stuff you need to do, and you'd be more in touch with nature. Right. It'd be way different. There'd be abundance, so you wouldn't have lack. So different things would be occurring. We can only blame the hierarchy for so long. You need to pull away from it and stop blaming it and just say it didn't work. It worked to this point and then didn't work. And now something new is going to occur, because this is what I want in my world. And then you start making those decisions. Where do you want to be? How do you want to do this? How would you like it to play out? And instead of worrying, you put your good stuff into it, and it just starts to occur. The ayahuasca just helps speed up the process, because we've been down for so long. But that used to be Soma was part of everyone's right and ritual growing up. You were having a rite of some kind of spiritual growth at a young age, to understand what the masculine and feminine are, to understand your place in the things that are happening around you, and how to be more helpful than less, how to be more respectful than not. You wouldn't even think about telling your mother to go fuck herself. You wouldn't even. You'd get slapped up from 20 different directions. And today you let that shit fly with no problem, to the point where you might punch your mother. We all seen the weirdo videos, right? And then the mother's doing terrible things to children. We've gone over the edge, and that shit needs to be dialed back. It just does. All right. So then when you start to see who stays in that split, one side or the other, you start to witness who the creator beings, rather than the reptilian that's in the human suit. You'll see the split in that as well. You'll start to see the evil functioning and the vibration and the frequencies that shouldn't be there, right? That being might not be able to make it as the other character comes through. The human suit either disappears out of it and dies off, or the being that's originally using it comes in eventually. That you can't stop the process. You can stint it. You could slow it up, but you cannot stop it. Okay? And all the fake things will go away. So the ones that aren't supposed to be there. So if they built a body and jumped in, and then maybe that body's not supposed to be there, that thing goes away. You die. You're not going to make it. There's no one other than that reptilian thing inside that. Without it, it doesn't work. There's that no spark of life is coming from that guy. Right? That's just like clone. They clone the body, and what do? You jump out of your body into that body. Right? They keep the soft body so they could transfer intelligence back and forth. There's a lot of ways they do that stuff, right? I guess so. How was your
oh my
pizza?
God, it was delicious. I was starving.
Okay.
Just 2 pieces for you. Okay?
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just check this. Yeah, we talked about all that. So that's pretty much it. You pull away to the point where only doing what you feel like doing that makes you happy, right? So if you want to play a video game, play a video game. Be happy doing it. But if it overtakes your life and like you're losing money and can't pay for rent,
Detach.
Detach. You know what I'm saying?
Disengage.
Yeah. Do the stuff that you like to do. That's why we're here. That allows you to unpixelate, to keep it. I'm trying to just keep this so simple. I love you guys so much. I'm just looking over and seeing what's going on in the chat. So, like, we always say the best teachers, though, you get to a point and they go, it's you, just love yourself and just do your thing. And you're like, man, why would that fucking work? And then, bow, you ignite.
Right.
That's how you do it. You literally pull away 100% just to see. Let me see. How long could I go? Oh, I can only go 2 minutes without it. And then you go, wait a second. Wait. It has me at the 2-minute mark, sometimes the 30-second mark. And then you pull away for 3 minutes and it's a success. Right?
Yeah.
But it's not going anywhere. My computer's right here. Facebook is open. Can't do much with it. So I don't,
Away.
but I'm looking in case someone sends a message or sends an email. So it's just there. But am I like, I check and then pull away, check, pull away. I've been doing a thing where I load up videos I like to listen to. And then at night when I'm cleaning, I'll do my video listening there.
When you work in the night shift.
When I work the night shift in this joint. Nick, thank you so much. I love you. Now sending you most positive vibes and love and light and everything else in between, man. This is great. Thank you so much for that. But the experience we're having, when you see it from this weird level that I'm talking about, you will never do certain things again. You won't they're just not relevant to you. Like, Biden's not going to do anything where they're going to come into my house and they're going to fucking take me away. And they're going to fucking put me in a con. They want to. Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yay.
Your awareness of it is like, oh, that's what you want to do. Now, I don't know what kind of fight you want to fight, but my fight is inside me. So if I'm like aware of what they're doing, but I'm like in this hope, faith part where I know we're walking through the static. This stuff is clown shoes at this point. It's a script. So I have to believe it's going to feel real. This whole thing's meant to feel real. That's why it's so crazy and psychotic. I'm going to push through this. He's not going to do nothing. Nobody's coming here. Nobody's doing anything.
Yeah, we're good.
We're safe in StarShip FearLess with love and abundance, and we're working on it like everyone else, and we're just going. I'm not going to be in fear every day anymore. I can't do this. So I'm like, okay, well, I opened my front door. There's no one there. No, there's no one. Like, I'm not letting in I know what they're trying to do. I'm doing my best to circumvent that, but I'm also growing through this. So who's going to reach there first? Right? I'm the forever one. You're the forever one. They're not forever. Their version of forever is a loop. Right? We're not in the loop. We are the whole thing. Everything happens inside the circle. We're the circle, right? With everything in it. Just remember that. And it's up to you to focus in and out. Go look at pictures of the flower of life and pull it out and think of yourself on one of those square points and then inside it, and then looking from the tourist field and going, man, this is crazy. And then just close it and look at the picture where it's just the circle and go, yeah, but that's me. These are just focus points. It's meant to blow your fucking mind. It's meant to blow your mind. Blow your mind back the other way. Take control. Go. It's not easy. It's difficult. Man, I listened to yesterday while she painted. I watched her paint while I was getting stoned, and I played Heist Click music all day. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm not promoting the group really by saying this, but I want to say this. We got some really good songs.
Oh, it was fun.
It was so much fun. It was like a best of. I played like 40 songs and none of them were bad. They were different. None of them were bad. And I'm like, man, this is fucking crazy. And I was having like this drawback to being on stage in different areas with all this stuff. And I was kind of bouncing, and she was just sitting here painting. And that was all that was going on for hours. I was just with the cats. I played with Reggie and
It was
I
fun.
bounced a little bit.
It was a good time.
And I felt good. I have to feel good.
That was after we cleaned. That was after we adulted.
And look how good it felt, though.
Yeah.
You're like, magic. Even Mom was like, when she was
Oh
here,
yeah, she came over.
the
That's
house
right.
is clean. this house is clean, right? And we were like, well, yeah, we're cleaning it. And she's like, no, it's clean. And I'm like, yeah. Well, you know, you can't go with all this family, and every few minutes you gotta clean. You want it that way, you work for it. But when you get in rhythm with it, you realize, look, first of all, this is what I asked for. This is our life.
Yeah.
So I don't not want them here.
No, of course not.
Right. So
no.
Why am I
in the summer?
When you go into now moments, though, you realize when you just spend 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes here, even though you feel like sometimes it's overwhelmingly and fracturing you.
I feel like I've washed this cat dish because we have a set of dishes. It's like we have 15 dishes. I feel like I washed the same 15 little dishes
all day, all night,
5, 6, 7 times a day.
Yeah.
And it's like,
just rotation. You're back. But when you get into a rhythm, and I find that the house has a rhythm now.
It does have a rhythm.
You can let the rhythm overtake you.
We cool it in the morning. We let it warm up, and then we air it out in the afternoon, and then we vacuum or sweep, and then a couple of hours later.
Or you can complain like I did.
Yeah, or you could complain. You know, it gets done
about how it fucking goes.
But yesterday was a very in the now moment. We listened to music, and
that's what I'm saying. No, you hit the frequency, and then you're chilling in it.
Yeah, it was.
And what takes place inside that? I feel good about myself. I feel good about everything around me. There's positive change, love and light. She's creating. I'm fucking listening to my creations, getting ready to make new creations.
You were telling stories.
Yeah, and it was all fun stuff. It was just like weirdo shit that goes on and goes down, stuff behind the scenes with the music. Like I was talking really nice about my brother. Like he's really good, but some of his lyrics, I'm gonna tell you something funny. So they used to say to me, dude, you curse all the time, motherfucker, this motherfucker. I go, I don't really do it on the tracks though. I did in the very beginning, and on stage I'll do whatever the fuck I want. But on the album, I do certain things. So they're like, not true. So we had an album listening party. And we listened to everything.
It was Rob.
And it was Rob,
not your
and Kutta and Petro doing all the cursing. And I had like 2 or 3 on an album of like 20 songs, and then I just dropped them in. But I did have, I know why I had the image I had, because of the way I talk in the album. There was like dirty talk, but making it cool.
Okay.
Like dirty, sexy things or filthy, funny things. That was the funniest. Like we were just laughing at some of the lyrics, and I'm like, well, we had fun doing that. And
I see that. I could see that.
That would when the community or people would see that, it presents that image to them like, oh, that's what's going on. So there's like we do with the song 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we make tons of jokes about 12 people, 12 girls, 12 blowjobs, 12 hiccups, divisible by this many dudes getting this many blowjobs. So we were just laughing though doing this. But then we would do this live and people would be like, it just became out of control. But we never got involved with it because everyone was already busy doing their thing. So it was an image that followed me throughout, like, oh, this dude's a crazy motherfucker. And meanwhile, it's just lyrics to the song. And then I'm on stage doing them and you're like, whoa, this motherfucker's for real. And then I'm just living my life. I'm not being faking on the funk. I'm just doing songs that are songs about stuff that's about you're creating. Some of it's dead about real life and some of it's just rhymes really good and makes sense to make your point. So it's interesting watching all that play out.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna drop off, I think soon.
You already dropped off like 2 hours ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's 3 hours now.
I know. Well,
No, you could keep going.
Weren't here for
you can keep going. I just don't want to set up anymore. Talk.
It's all right. I'm not calling you out. I'm actually being drawn magnetically to the pizza.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, I love you guys. Do your shadow work. Get everything done.
Do your shadow work.
Get right with yourself. Stop fucking around. And present yourself with the highest opportunities in your optimum timeline, in the greatest adventure that you're ever going to live. Do it now. Never been a better time.
I like
Ignore all these motherfuckers and all these distractions. Ignore it. See what happens. Just see
Yeah.
if you can ignore it. I guarantee you it's going to take work to ignore it.
Push past it. Push past.
I can't just tell you to shut it off. It doesn't work that way. You're going to
No,
look
you
and
just
you're
gotta- you
what
just
happened
gotta-
while I was asleep.
Yeah, you got to cruise.
Like,
Oh, I
we
do that all the
it.
time.
We do it.
Every time I take
But
a nap.
we do it just
Yeah, I
in
say to
little
Frank, what did I
pieces.
miss when I was sleeping?
I was like, oh, he's doing all this stuff to executive orders backwards. He's taking everything Trump did and X them all out. But you know what? It's all a hologram. It's all a script. It doesn't matter because I'm turning into the light being in this motherfucking place. I'm the example. I'm the example.
And I was like, all right, that's all I missed. Okay. What's happening on the Marvel universe? Anything?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. All speculation. All speculation. Fucking speculation. We just watched the show. What's happening? More speculation.
just
Nobody
wanna-
actually knows, but they think it's this.
Oh, boy.
They thought it was that.
I just want to wake up. And
What's
going to
happen? Well, this is going to
know.
happen.
Yeah.
This is why dates and times and all kinds of weird shit, just let it play the fuck out. While
I'm
it's
starting
playing
not
out,
to love you, Black Widow. I'm losing love.
if you're waiting for it to play out so you could advance, you're doing it wrong. You got to advance within that, not wait for that to happen. That's my last bit of wisdom for the evening. I love you so much. Thank you for everything.
Yes, thank you.
We love you, Fearless family. Have a great week. If you need us, we're here. Just send positive vibes and we'll send positive vibes right back because we love you. We can do this. Anchor your light, transform, change. Enjoy your slice of pizza and your video game and your meditation and your fresh, clean water and meet me up in the high frequency. We can do this. We can do this together.
Thank
You have
you,
no
Lisa
choice but
Marie.
to do it as an individual. So go on and do it. Remember, the universe rewards bravery.
bravery.
Stay fearless, everyone. Good night.
Love you guys.
Love you so much. Yeah.